had to find some interesting places to park, so this game is well attended. Great crowd on hand. It's probably the game of the week in Southern Illinois. Couldn't ask for anything better if you're a football fan.
We want to remind fans we apologize for some internet issues on the YouTube live stream. We will get that up and going as soon as we can. But in the meantime, you can still tune in right here on 97.3. And apparently, our man Asher Penrod says we are good to go on the YouTube end. So we do appreciate the patience in that end. And internet is not great here in Johnston City. So, you know, if we pop off the air once in a while, we apologize. We'll work on it as we can. Do also want to apologize. I have been battling a sore throat for the past 48 hours. I had about 8 cups of hot tea with honey today, Chris.
We'll forgive you.
I did my best.
As long as you promise not to try to sing or anything like that, we'll be
not
all
tonight,
right.
not
Okay,
tonight.
all right.
So Carmi, and this game's going to kick off a little bit later as they are going to introduce the starters for both sides. They've already introduced all the Carmi starters. Carmi's going to receive the football first. And, Chris, if our live stream is working, fans can see what the Indians do. I'm not sure if you saw it on film, what they do on kickoff. They run about 100 miles an hour and then stop right at the ball and then get back in formation and kick it off, or they'll kick it off. You'll see what I'm talking about here on this opening kickoff. But they've done it for years. It's got to keep in this front line on the kickoff return for Carmi has got to be on their toes, because this is one of those games where if it's a pooch kick, a short kick, an onside kick, you cannot give either side extra possessions.
Yeah, it's critical. Special teams is critical tonight. Field position and both sides, whether you're kicking off, whether you're receiving, what kind of field position you get to start is going to be massive in this game. And with the Bulldogs receiving the ball first, that means the Indians will get the first possession in the second half. So I think the Bulldogs absolutely have to get a good drive this first drive, take it down in the field and score, because you don't want to play the fall-behind game against these guys, because, again, they suffocate you. They use our style of football, and they may be a little more methodical than even we are, because they're not the big explosive play. You know, with King and Odd, one missed tackle can be a 50-yard touchdown run. These guys aren't that way. They're kind of just little chunks, and they're satisfied. So everything matters tonight. Special teams, offense, defense, you name it. You have to be perfect in all phases of the game.
Kurt Simon, so this might be the fastest game they've played all year in terms of time. Like I said, neither team's going to throw the ball very much unless they absolutely have to. But, Chris, something else that I kind of thought about last week, Seth and Aaliyah did a really good job of throwing the football against this Johnston City team. So it kind of brings up the thought, if you're Carmi, do you try throwing the ball a little bit here? I can imagine if you're running the ball and it works, don't change it. But if Carmi needs to throw the ball here, it might be there.
I think there may be a time we have to. In all honesty, if it comes to the fact that our run game, our bread and butter is not clicking, then you have no choice. You're going to have to mix things up a little. Obviously, Coach Simon would love it, just as he said, to do what we do and do it best. That would be great if we can do that tonight, but there may be a time where we're forced to do more than play action, maybe forced in a spread formation. That begs the question, you know, how do these Bulldog receivers, and we haven't had to go wide, I don't think the whole year. So how will we perform in a different set when we haven't had to throw the ball? That's going to be a key question, because in the postseason, I guarantee you will have to mix things up against teams that shut down what you do best. So it might be a good test tonight to see if we have to do that, because in the postseason, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
These first few minutes, these first couple of possessions, who can jump out first, it's going to be really key. It's one of those games, and again, it goes back to the Indians can't pass that well. We can't pass that well. If one of these teams can get a big lead, it's going to be hard for the other to make a comeback.
Yeah, neither one of us quick strike teams through the air, so it may very well come down to last possession.
So again, the Bulldogs will get the football first. They'll be going left to right in their away white jerseys, maroon pants. The Indians in their all black. They'll be kicking right to left in this first quarter. Beautiful night for high school football. Where else would you rather be? What other game would you rather see tonight? 2 unbeatens, 2 top 10 teams in the state of Illinois. And there's the kickoff. A deep kickoff going to be fielded by Kate Allen across the way on the 12-yard line. Allen looking for running room, gets it across the 30, and is taken down at the Carmi-White County 32-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs will start this ball game. 1st and 10, Carmi.
And you'll take that opening possession past the 25-yard line. That's solid field position.
First down for Carmi.
You said Johnston City has some size. Number 75, Logan Hunter, 6'3", 280-pound senior.
He just committed to the University of Lindenwood.
And he fills out those. He's a solid 280, let me tell you.
First and 10 for Carmi from their own 32-yard line. Under center is Leg. They go to King on the right side on the first play, and the Indians are all over it. And we might see a lot of that tonight. It's going to be one of those nights where Isaac he works for his yards in general, but he's going to have to work pretty hard tonight.
He's going to have to. The Indians already come out in a six-man front, 6 down linemen. And that was number 75. We just talked about Logan Hunter, who was in there just absolutely clogging that running lane. He is going to be a force to deal with tonight, along with the defensive end next to him, number 9, Jude Beers, 6'1", 210.
You can imagine both teams defensively are going to stack the box. Indians do it right here on 2nd and 9. Leg will hand it off to King on the inside, and again, just nowhere to go.
No.
The Indian defensive line, and again, the toughest by far, the toughest competition this Carmi offensive line has faced all year. And here we go, 2 plays, about a yard and a half, 3rd and 9 coming up here for Carmi. 1 minute gone in this first quarter.
Very unfamiliar territory for the Bulldogs. He's been an absolute animal those first 2 plays.
What will Carmi do here on 3rd down and 9 from their own 33-yard line? Under center is Leg. He will go double handoff this time. It's Dotson. Thought he had room for a second, but he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. That's about as good as a start you could ask for if you're Johnston City. Here comes the Bulldog punt team.
And the JC defense was absolutely dominant. They're attempting the counter, the double handoff, our 47 counter. Nothing doing. This Indian defense has scouted us well, and they absolutely dominated that series up front. So Carmi's going to have to answer the bell defensively.
Talk about special teams, going to be big here for Mitchell Edwards tonight in the kicking game. Don't want to have any mishaps. So 4th down and 8, Carmi will punt, and the snap is over Edwards' head. He is going to pick it up at the 5-yard line. Now he's in his own end zone. He's got to try to run out of it. Edwards is going to be tackled at the 2-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal, Johnston City, as the snap was over Edwards' head, and near disaster.
And I was just about to say, with the Bulldogs so rarely punting the football, you got to have a good snap.
Yep.
And on cue, unfortunately, disaster. And if you're Johnston City, you couldn't ask for a better start to this football game.
And if you're Carmi, couldn't really ask for a worse
nightmare.
start. Yeah.
This is a nightmare.
But hey, lots of football left to go.
It is early.
Indians will take the field at the Carmi 3-yard line, 1st down and goal. Under center is the quarterback, Mowery. He will turn. He'll give it off up the middle. That is going to be Boston Payton, and he will battle his way up to the 1-yard line.
Well, good job by Driscoll coming up from his safety position. Quite frankly, the Bulldogs are going to have to do a near impossible task and keep Johnston City from gaining a yard to get in the end zone.
So 2nd down and goal from the Carmi 2-yard line. Indians have the football after a bad snap on the Carmi punt. Under center is Mowery. He will take the snap. He will toss it to Watson on the far side. Cuts back to the middle. Touchdown, Johnston City. With 9:05 to go here in the first quarter. You could not ask for a better start for the Johnston City Indians.
And like we talked about, if they come down to a turnover. And sure enough, first series, the Bulldogs commit a turnover. Fed Johnston City a gimme touchdown with field position at the 2-yard line. And Watson showed his athleticism. He took that in, just made a little cut, and that was easy as it gets.
So Watson scores his 19th rushing touchdown of the season. And the extra point is on the way from Caden Dover, and that one is up, and it is good. So with 9:05 to go here in the first quarter, your score is Johnston City 7, Carmi White County nothing. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUL.
You can buy more of what you want when you save on what you need. Save on meal ingredients by shopping Little Giant Grocery Outlet in Carmi. Little Giant's team of buyers are constantly scanning wholesalers, looking for pantry favorites and meal ingredients at astonishing savings just so you can shop confidently, knowing that you can come in anytime and find great deals from fresh cuts of meat and grocery items to deli, fresh produce, and frozen goods. See just how much more your dollar buys at Little Giant Grocery, Carmi, Illinois.
Well, a rough start for the Bulldogs. They trail 7-0 with 9:05 to go here in the first quarter of action. Cole Carter and Chris Myers, as the Indians get great field position on a bad snap on the Bulldog punt attempt. And it results to a 2-yard run by Isaiah Watson. So now, for the first time really all season long, we'll talk about that Fairfield game, but Carmi in a tough spot out the gate.
You talk about your back flat against the wall. This is it. Like you said, Cole, still just the first quarter.
Lots
the
of football
Bulldogs
left.
are going to have to just take a deep breath, regroup, and find an answer.
This is exactly what we expected. We knew this JC team was going to be a hard-nosed football team. Dover will kick this one away on the far sideline. Running up is Allen. Fields it on the run across the 30-yard line. Allen will take it across the 35, out of bounds on the Carmi sideline. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from that spot. Again, 7-0 Johnston City. Do want to let fans know we are back up and running on the WRUL Sports YouTube stream, so we apologize for the internet issues on that end. Should be hopefully good to go for the rest of the night.
And the Bulldogs are just going to have to find an answer up front, because Johnson City didn't give an inch that first possession. And big 75 Logan Hunter, the 6'3", 280-pound Lindenwood commit, was the biggest reason for that.
So we'll see if Carmi wants to go on the outside here. 1st and 10. Ball at the Bulldog 34-yard line. Legg will hand it off to Odd up the middle, and Odd will be taken down right where he got the handoff. No gain.
And again, just dominant defensive line play there.
What we expected.
Yeah, absolute fight. Looked like number 44, Evan Sanders and Boston Payton in there for the Indians. Like I said, they have this offense well scouted.
And again, Johnson City has a size advantage up front by far. Under
And
center is Legg. Here on 2nd down and 10. Legg will toss it near side to King. Setting up his blockers. King across the 40-yard line. 45 midfield. King at the 45, at the 40, and pushed out of bounds at the Johnston City 35-yard line. That's what you got to do, Chris. They stuff up the middle. The Bulldogs go with the Jets, or the sweep there to Isaac King, and a big play.
Well, they committed 6 men in the box, and they were going nowhere, and you called it, Cole. We got a crease on the outside. He got a tremendous block from Drax Odd, sealing that corner before he'd get around the edge, and that was just what the Bulldogs needed, because it was starting to look like another 3-and-out coming up.
So 1st and 10 for Carmi. The ball is at the Johnson City 36-yard line. 7-0 Indians, 8:14 to go here in the opening quarter.
5 down linemen, 2 backers, 2 corners wide.
Under center is Legg. They move Dotson in motion. They hand it off to King up the middle. King is going to get it across the 40-yard line. Isaac King inside the 25. That's another rush appliance, 1st down for the Carmi White County Bulldogs.
Beautiful job on the kind of not so much a counter, but just out of that wing, just kind of a dive off the left side. That time, the left side of the Bulldog line able to get their blocks, get their men turned out, get to the second level, and give Isaac a crease to do what he does. But that's what being able to get to the outside does. That forced Johnson City to honor our outside run game. Might open things up inside a little.
1st and 10 from the Indian 24-yard line, under 8 to play in a 7-0 first quarter. Legg, they toss it left side to Odd, trying to turn up field. And Draxton able to get about 5 yards there. Up to the Indian 19-yard line. Like you said, Chris, this is a Carmi team that not once this year have we seen them just get outplayed for really more than a quarter. You talk about that Fairfield game, their first hiccup, but it takes a lot on the Johnson City side to beat up this Bulldog team for 4 quarters.
Yeah, and you can see the resolve this Bulldog team has. I mean, there wasn't a worse way to start a football game, but they've recovered very nicely this drive. Inside the 20, but they got to punch this one in.
And a penalty flag flies in before the snap.
I don't know if we weren't set or what they're going to call.
We had
offside.
Offside against
their corner on that play. Keaton Fort was in the neutral zone before the ball was even snapped. Bulldogs went to that little tight bunch formation, so he came up to cover that. See if we stay in that formation or if we change.
So it's a rush appliance, 1st down up to the Indian 14-yard line. Bulldogs trying to get on the scoreboard. 7-0 Indians, 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Under center is Legg. He turns off to King up the middle, and that time he'll get stuffed. Indians trying to trying to strip the football out. No gain that time. That was 44 yet again. That's Sanders.
Yeah, he is a tremendous player off the edge there. That's that bunch set with that fullback dive we tried to run. It's been successful most of this year. The Indians were all over that one. Like I said, Sanders came off that edge quickly, almost unblocked. Indians have speed at the end and linebacker position along with the power of Hunter on the inside. So defensively, they're a very, very formidable team.
2nd down and 9, ball at the Indian 13-yard line. Leg, they toss it far side to Odd, trying to turn upfield and runs right into a brick wall. Odd trying to fight for a second effort. That was 55, Brody Little. And all 5'6" of them ran right into Draxon Odd. So here we go, 3rd down and about 6 for Carmi.
Yeah, and this is obviously 4-down territory, but this is a massive 3rd down and 6 because you can still get a 1st down. They are in field position where 2 plays you can get the 1st down. Carmi has to answer the bell here and get a score.
Definitely 4-down territory. 3rd down and 6, ball at the Indian 10-yard line. 7-0 Johnston City. 5:38 to play in the first quarter, and the Indians jump off sides. The Bulldogs went with the get set.
The classic Kurt Simon trick bag for the last 26 years. You would think after that long, scouting the Bulldogs, he pulls that out every year. But it always works in a key situation. Good call by the coach. Still going to leave us about a yard short, so we still need to convert this.
3rd and 1's a lot better than 3rd and 6.
Absolutely.
3rd down and a yard at the Indian 5-yard line. 5:25 to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Johnston City. Under center is Leg. He'll turn, give it off to Odd. Left side, Draxon Odd. Touchdown, Carmi, White County. 5 yards away, and the Bulldogs march right down the field, and they can take the lead here on the 2-point conversion.
Great play call by Coach Simon to draw them off sides. The T formation was really close up against Leg, and I thought we might sneak it, but the classic 23 crossbuck, Odd coming off left tackle. Huge answer by the Bulldogs. Now we got to get the conversion.
And definitely sparked it with that long run on the sweep play by King. Carmi was digging themselves in a hole before that play, but
and we talked about how we're more of a quick strike with long runs, long bursts.
And a timeout taken by Carmi with 5:14 to go here in the first quarter. We'll keep it here. So the Bulldogs, and we've seen them kick extra points at times this season. You wonder, is this one of those games where the Indians, they can kick extra points? You don't want to chase points. Tough spot to be in as a coach.
Well, you know, the thing is, our kicking game has just been a little 50-50, kind of shaking this year. You know, even our punts, things we don't do often. So Johnston City has historically had a good kicking game. You know, I don't know a year that they always.
Had
you
a
know,
couple
if you
of
called
Division
Nico
I
Gualdoni,
exactly.
I think back when you played, he ended up going to SIU.
He's a 5-year starter at SIU.
So, I mean, their strength is their kicking game, and that could be something that comes into play. If it's late in this game and they're, say, on the 15, 20-yard line, they need to kick one, that could happen.
Absolutely.
So I think if you're Carmi, you probably have to go for 2. I don't know if our kicking game, if we can match extra points with them. So, you know, it looks like we're just going to stick to going ahead and going for 2.
Well, with that bad snap on the punt return, on the punt attempt by Carmi, definitely doesn't make Simon feel a little bit better about kicking.
Right. And, you know, again, going back to that, when you've punted as rarely as we have this season, that's always the danger. If you don't do it a lot, I know you practice it in practice, but it's always, if it's something you haven't had to do, it can be tricky.
Bulldogs going for 2, trying to take the lead. 5:14 to play in the first quarter. Leg, they give it off to King. Off the right side, stumbles in. Did he get in? They say no. They say he did not get in.
Wow. I thought that ball, Dodson was trying to get the corner turned out. He ran right in the back of Dodson, and I thought his forward momentum, that ball crossed the goal line.
Oof.
Wow.
But regardless, the Bulldogs get on the scoreboard. We'll keep it here with 5:14 to play in the first quarter. Johnston City 7 and the Bulldogs 6. But regardless, Chris, despite the 2-point play, that's a huge drive for Carmi to get back in the ballgame.
That is a massive answer from the Bulldogs, and credit them. You know, everything working against them. I mean, it's just like the ultimate nightmare way to start a game. And credit the Bulldogs. They didn't panic. They got a big play on a 2nd and long run from King, doing what he does, big plays at the right moments. We punch it in. Now it's 7-6. Now you can play the field position game. Get a good quick kickoff. Guys get down and cover it well. Now you feel like you got some breathing room and some balance now. Now we can start going back and forth a little.
And again, lots of football left. Edwards, a line drive kick, going to take a tough bounce and roll back inside the Indian 15, then picked up there. Now running at the 12 and breaking a couple tackles across the 25-yard line. Still going near sideline at the 45 midfield. A penalty flag flies in as Trayton Vickers was getting held big time near midfield.
They were going to call that.
Tip your cap right there, though, to Nolan Cossey, who that ball went through his hands, had to go back and pick it up at his own 12-yard line and was able to return it into Carmi territory. But Trayton Vickers was getting held big time there at midfield, and so that will back that one up.
We'll back it up about 15 yards or so, but man, you're right. He made something out of nothing there. That was an incredible return because he was surrounded by about 5 Bulldog tacklers.
So we first down and 10 for the Indians. We'll see where they mark the football. 5 minutes to go in this first quarter.
37, so they're still going to have good field position.
Compared to where that kickoff started, I believe it was Cade Stockton who had a shot to bring him down back at around the 15, and again, give credit to Cossey. Nice return. So 1st and 10 for the Indians from their own 37-yard line.
Now this defense of the Bulldogs is really going to have to rise to the occasion here.
Again, Indians scored from 2 yards out after the bad snap for Carmi last time. Here's the toss to Cossey, and he will be taken up. Got about 2 yards up to the 39-yard line.
Nice play by Gavin Payton, the defensive tackle on that side. Did a good job shedding his block and stopping that before it got developed. But you can see how when they run those inside tosses, how there is just a convoy, a guard, a tackle, a fullback, even a quarterback. I mean, you got 4 guys leading that thing. And with the foot-to-foot splits, it's very difficult for your linebackers to see what's going on. So your defensive line just have to be grown men and hold their ground.
2nd down and 8 for the Indians at their own 39-yard line. 7-6, Johnston City. Toss right side to Watson. He's got nowhere to go. The Bulldogs all over him at the 41-yard line. Draxon Odd, Caleb Siebers, the first 2 there. Brings up 3rd down and about 7 here for the Indians.
Well, they ran the exact same play. This time they tried it to the right side, and Odd just did a tremendous job flowing. Down lineman, got on the hips of the pulling guard. Pringle in there getting on the hips with the pullers. They clogged that up. Tremendous play. Now you got a 3rd down and 6. If you can get a stop here, I don't think JC would want to go 4-down territory at this point.
Depending on how much they get on this 3rd down.
If it's 3rd and 1, yes. If it's not much different, then we'll see.
3rd and a long 6, under center. They toss it near side. This is Cossey trying to turn up field. He does. Ball comes out. Carmi right County's got it.
Yes.
Cossey fumbled the football, trying to cut back inside, and the Bulldogs recover it. Isaac King falls on top.
We talked about it. Turnovers. Which team can create them? Which team can get them? And that was a big one for Carmi. Cossey was going to be stopped short. That was a great job by Tyler Gomat, the safety, keeping us contained there. But what a gift. The Bulldogs are in business.
Well, what are they going to say? They're going to say he was down by contact?
I don't see how.
The referee just held up a fist saying 4th down.
They did.
So they're going to come back and say he was down by contact.
I think they're going to go ahead and go for it. Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Well, it's 4th down and a long 2. And the football is at the Indian 44. They got to get to the 46-yard line.
Well, I have to curb my enthusiasm there, and now it is a big 4th and 2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. That's such a bang-bang. How do you even see that? You know, it's one thing to
no replay.
Say he was down by contact initially, but, the official said fumble and pointed Carmine's direction.
Yeah, you can't once one official calls it, you can't overturn
But the Indians will punt.
Yeah.
So they bring out the punt team. So they don't go for it here on 4th and a yard. They will send Driscoll and King back. Now, Driscoll muffed a punt last week against El Dorado.
And you got to be wary of a fake here.
Carmi might need to burn a timeout. They might get 12 guys on the field, and they call a timeout.
Yeah, they had no choice.
Lots of confusion with defense, and it was big Eli Bryant. He can only run so fast trying to get to the sideline.
Good thing they called timeout, because if they call that penalty,
it's a first down.
Ooh.
We'll go ahead and take a 30-second break. Your score, Johnston City 7, Carmi County 6, right here. Well.
Hey, Tom, what's up, man? You look awful.
Yeah, well, I think I just shitted myself to death.
Dude. That's brutal.
Yeah, I should have bought the truck, should have taken advantage of the deal. It was perfect, and everything about Rice is nice, but I just wasn't sure. Then I spent the next hours, days, weeks, and months shooting myself until I just couldn't take it anymore.
Let me tell you what you ought to do. You ought to bought a truck from Rice Motors in Carmi.
Hop on and take ricemotors.com for a test drive today. Everything about Rice is nice. Rice Motors.
Punt regardless. Carmi falls on it. And it's going to be first down and 10. Let's see, at the 25-yard line.
I think you may get to where you just wave your fair catch signal and let the ball bounce.
Well, I mean, Driscoll has had a couple of nice returns, had a couple of nice interception returns this season. So
usually that deep in your territory, you just, whoever's back there, it's just something you have to be really careful, especially in a game like this. But again, that's my bias. Punts just make me nervous. They always do, no matter I don't care if Deion Sanders is back there.
So Carmi drove about 65 yards last time to get on the scoreboard. 7-6 Johnston City. Handoff to King up the gut. And King will get it across the line of scrimmage to about the 27-yard line. Or was that Johnson, the ball carrier?
That was King. Yeah. Announcer's wrong there. About a 4-yard gain, so just what you need. Good 4-yard chunk right there.
And it's not going to be a game where you're going to get 10 yards every single play.
You're going to earn every yard tonight. You're not going to see a lot of monster plays unless someone breaks on the outside like Isaac did the first drive.
Second down and 6, ball at the Carmi 28-yard line. Under center is Leg. They toss it near side to Odd, trying to turn up field. Makes a couple of Indians miss. Nice run by Draxton Odd across the 35-yard line. That should be enough for a Rush Appliance first down. Move the chains.
And that was a great run by Drax Odd there, cutting back to the inside. Johnston City kind of shifted their defense there at the second, brought their safety over, so they were kind of playing, their defense going with our motion, kind of playing for that toss to go farther outside, but good vision by Drax to cut that back and move the chains.
2:13 to go here in the first quarter. 7-6, Johnston City leads. Carmi with the football. Under center is Leg. Moves out in motion. They hand it off inside to King, and he had about 3 Indians waiting for him at the 34-yard line. Loss of a yard.
Well, that's just that misdirection. Fullback coming back the opposite way. Wingback goes in motion to the left, and they just try to run it back against the grain. But I tell you, Brock Baker has had a fantastic game. We talked about Logan Hunter, big 75, but Brock Baker, 6'1", 225-pound senior, has been all over the field tonight for Johnston City.
So second down and 10, ball at the Carmi 35-yard line. 7-6 Indians lead. 90 seconds to go here in the first quarter. They toss it far side to King, letting his blockers set up, and King has it across the 40-yard line. Stumbles, and he could have had a long run. He got tripped up across the 45-yard line. That's going to be enough for a Rush Appliance first down, but could have been a lot more.
Fantastic job is just that power G toss to the left side. Great blocks by Dodson and Odd leading the way, but Isaac, that could have been a monster gainer. You can tell Isaac's frustration when he got up. He just tripped.
We start the second quarter of action. Your score, Johnston City 7, Carmi White County 6. Bulldogs have the football in Indian territory after a first down run by Isaac King up to the Johnston City 41-yard line. Cole Carter and Chris Myers, Asher Penrod and Cadence Driscoll are here working the YouTube live stream. Scott Maring back at the WRUL studio. First down and 10 for Carmi with the football. Under center is Leg. They hand it off to King. Hurdles a defender, takes it up to the 35-yard line. Forward progress will get him to the 35. Had a 7-yard pickup there for Isaac.
Well, that was our classic power I formation. You know the ISO's coming. The ISO hasn't been easy for us to run tonight with this Johnston City brick wall of a defensive line in front of us, but good job to get a 5-yard gain out of that. Isaac using his athleticism, we've seen him do it. We've seen him hurdle guys, run them over, spin around them, you name it, he does it. Take your pick.
30 seconds gone here in the second quarter, 7-6 Johnston City. Under center is Leg. He'll take the snap. Back to pass for the first time tonight. Leg will roll out to his right. Nobody open. Might need to get rid of it. He shuffles it out of bounds. That's a heads-up play by Warren Legg. Got it past the line of scrimmage, so no penalty. And a heads-up play by Warren Legg.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, that was close. That could have, been in intentional grounding territory, or he could have taken the sack. So fortunate to get that one away. Johnston City is playing 2 safeties deep. So I noticed both routes were covered by the safeties on that play. So Legg really didn't have anyone to throw to.
And really with that play-action pass, that counter pass, if they're not open, nothing's going to happen.
No.
So it's just a smart play by Legg to get rid of it.
If your deep routes aren't there, the intermediate, you just got to throw it away.
3rd down and 5. Ball at the Indian 36-yard line. Under center is Legg. He will toss it near side to King. Trying to turn upfield, he does. King puts a shoulder down and takes it inside the Indian 30-yard line. That's enough for a Rush Appliance first down.
And I cannot say enough how on these tosses, his running backs leading are just creating these opportunities. Drax Odd with a tremendous block on that edge. Absolutely put his helmet in the chest of the Johnston City corner. That created that running lane for Isaac King. We don't talk enough about just the sacrificial mindset of this entire backfield. The blocking has just been superb on these edge plays tonight for the Bulldogs.
So 1st and 10 for Carmi at the Johnston City 30-yard line. 7-6 Indians lead. 10:41 to play in the second quarter. Handoff Odd, second man through, and he gets taken down hard inside the 30. So about the 29, 28-yard line, maybe got a yard. Call it the 27.5, second down and 9 coming up.
And again, Evan Sanders over there, another solid player, defensive lineman. I mean, he let him know he was there, so to speak. That was a good play. Like I've seen tonight, these delay counter plays just haven't been as successful just because of the strength of the Johnston City D-line.
And they take a while to set up.
Exactly. You've got to hit these guys with kind of quick hitter plays.
2nd down and 8. Under center is Legg. He'll toss it far side to King. Gets a block from Odd. Tries to bounce it to the outside. Now back to the inside. And is wrestled down inside the Johnston City 20-yard line. That should be enough for a Bulldog first down. And is it? I think he's right at the chains.
Yeah, he's about a yard, maybe 2 short. But I think the Bulldogs kind of found something here. They're going to have to do their best to kind of attack the intermediate edge. Not quite the wide sweep, but just off the end, because it's tough sledding against that defensive front for JC. So you're going to have to attack the edges a little bit. But still, this has been a great drive to this point.
3rd and 1, probably 4-down territory here for Carmi. Under center is Legg. They give it off to King on the right side. And King is stuffed initially. Forward progress, though, might have enough for a first down, and I believe it does. A Rush Appliance first down there for Isaac King.
I'm thinking so. They're not moving the chain. Now they are. Now they're signaling. I was waiting for it.
Well, this official crew, you can't make a call too quick.
No. No, that's true. And there is no replay. Folks at home, we may disagree with calls.
For a game like this, I think you should be able to get some replay. Let's bring some camera crews down here for a big game like this.
The IHSA may get a lot of petitions for that at some point.
1st and 10 for Carmi at the Indian 19-yard line. We're going to have a timeout taken by Johnston City. We will take one as well. We'll take a 1-minute break right here on 97.3 WRUL.
Share your talents and grow your caregiving career without sacrificing life. Now hiring RNs, LPNs, and CNAs at Wabash Christian Village. Our professionals enjoy flexible schedules, competitive wages, a paycheck, advanced program, continuing education, leadership opportunities, and so much more. You can make a difference with a healthcare career, and there's never been a better time to make a change. Apply today at WBCV Careers.
Personal one-to-one service. That's a promise we make to all of our clients. This is Ashley Ingram with Butch & Associates CPAs in Carmi. Our firm was built on the idea of treating all of our clients like they are the only client we have. For bookkeeping, payroll, financial planning, and of course, income tax preparation, turn to a firm that is large enough to trust and small enough to care. Butch & Associates CPAs in Carmi. Call us at 382-4151 or visit us at butch.com. That's BOTSCH.com.
8:53 to go here in the second quarter. Your score, Johnston City 7, Carmi White County 6. The Bulldogs have the football. It's 1st down and 10 at the Indian 18-yard line. Cole Carter and Chris Myers here at the very nice Johnston City High School Sports Complex. They renovated this about 10 years ago, put in the AstroTurf, the only team in the conference with the AstroTurf, and still looks great.
Yeah. A definite improvement what they had when we first came here. They've definitely upgraded this to a very high-class facility for sure.
So first down and 10 for Carmi at the Indian 18-yard line. Bulldogs trail by a point, 7-6. Under center his leg. He will toss it near side to Odd, and the Indians that time shot through, and about 3 or 4 black jerseys there on Draxon for a loss of a couple.
And that time the Indians defended the edge very well. The defensive end, number 9, that's Jude Beers, 6'1", 210, very strong physical presence on that edge. Just held his ground, did not get turned out. Forced Drax back to the inside where the help was, and that was a loss of 2 on that. Loss of 3, actually.
It's really the second good drive Carmi's put together. They went 3 and out on their first possession. A bad snap on a punt led to an easy JC touchdown.
You wonder about maybe a screen pass or something like that to mix in here.
Second down and 12. Under center his leg. Handoff to King on the right side. He's trying to find the outside. Gets around one defender inside the 20-yard line to about the 16. Isaac was able to get on the edge and got about 6 yards there, so it brings up third down and call it 6.
Nice job. That was all Isaac there, just evading what could have been a tackle for a loss. Literally turned his body, got skinny there, stiff-armed a tackle, and made the classic something out of nothing. But
He's pretty good at that.
He's very good at that. That 3-yard loss, though, 3rd and 6 could have been 3rd and 3.
And
so
again, 4-down territory
without question.
8:01 to play in the second quarter. 7-6 Johnston City. Bulldogs trying to take their first lead. Under center his leg. He'll toss it near side to King. Indians blitz that time, but King tries to bust to the outside. Breaks a tackle inside the 10. Isaac King inside the 5. First and goal, Carmi White County.
Wow.
Turning nothing into something. Rush applies first down, first and goal.
When you need it, you go to your horse, and he just absolutely willed his way to that first down. That looked like an absolute jailbreak from the Johnston City defense. They had that play snuffed, but he just used his leg strength. You saw that. He was dead to rights and just powered out of that tackle, kept going. That's just what his strength and athleticism does. That was another all Isaac King carrying that load there.
He's fun to watch, I'll tell you that.
He is something else.
First and goal from the 4-yard line. Under center his leg. They give it off to Odd. Left side, touchdown, Carmi White County.
Yes.
Johnston Odd, his second touchdown run of the night, and the Bulldogs have the lead with 7:47 to play in the second quarter.
What an answer by this Bulldog football team. Like we said, the nightmare start to start this game off. The bad snap. Johnston City converts from 2 yards out. Down 7-0 within maybe 2 minutes into the game. And the Bulldogs have answered the bell from this point on. Isaac King making the impossible possible time after time. And then Draxod finishing that off on the 23 crossbuck. Now let's see if we can get a conversion here.
A big 2-point play here. 12-7. Bulldogs in front going for 2. Under center his leg.
Play.
They give it off to Odd. He's going to stumble his way in for 2.
Exact same play. Crossbuck again. He had to earn that one. Good thing he's short with short legs. If he was tall, he wouldn't have got in.
7:47 to go in the first half. Your score, Carmi White County 14, Johnston City 7. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUL.
In today's environment, being able to do all of your banking from home is not only convenient, but a necessity. People's National Bank makes it easy for you to do your banking without actually going to the bank. From online banking, mobile banking, free mobile deposit, to transferring funds and paying bills, it's easy and convenient for you to do your banking all from your mobile phone or computer. Get started by going to peoplesnationalbank.com to sign up for online banking today. People's National Bank, making it easy to bank from anywhere. Member FDIC.
I was starting to get a scratchy throat myself earlier today. It's just this time of year.
7:47 to go here in the second quarter. Your score, Carmi White County 14, Johnston City 7. Mitchell Edwards will kick a line drive kick that will be picked up and bobbled inside the 20. Going back to pick it up is going to be number 22. That's Weaver, and he falls on it right before it goes out of bounds at the Indian 17-yard line. Chris, you're starting to feel the momentum shift to the far side of the field. A lot of maroon and white over there.
Yes, you are. You're starting to kind of collectively catch your breath here. This Bulldog team just shakes things off and battles back. Again, the nightmare start, but they have turned this thing around. Now they have momentum definitely in their favor. And I was going to say on that kickoff, I know the receiver was just thinking maybe let it roll out of bounds, but he didn't have much time to decide if he,
you never know how that ball's
you're
going to
right.
bounce either.
That ball could have bounced, been a recovery. So another good kick by Edwards to get a good bounce there.
So the Indians
Timeout.
will burn a timeout. I believe that is their second timeout of the half. We'll keep it here. 7:47 to go here in the second quarter. Do have a couple of score updates from around the Black Diamond Conference. Hamilton County is all over Vienna Goreville, 26-0 there in the first quarter, and I can't imagine I'm going to find many more scores. Not the best signal here in JC. Oh, I'll keep looking, though. I did hear a score update. They announced it earlier. It was Sestervalier over Flora, I believe 21-0 or something like that at that point in the game. So Flora's 4-3. If they lose tonight against Sestervalier, they're going to be 4-4 going to Carmi next week, and that's
going to be a tough road.
never a tough game to beat a team with 4 losses.
But going back to here, Johnston City, 7:42 left in the half. Still plenty of time for them, but I just think the Bulldogs, I know it's a cliche, is need to stop them on this drive. Number one, I think if we're able to get another score, if we can get a 3-and-out here, take the ball, get another score before half, get a 2-score lead, that really gives us a little breathing room because Johnston City does get the ball to start the second half. So I think it's critical that we keep them out of the end zone. If this thing goes into halftime at a tie and they come out first possession, it's going to get a lot tighter than what it could be.
El Dorado leads CZR 16-8 in the second quarter. So after the timeout, 1st and 10 for the Indians from their own 17-yard line, 14-7. Bulldogs in front, 7:42 to go here in the second quarter. Under center is Mowery. He will toss it on the near side. I believe that's Watson, the ball carrier.
The ball come out?
Did the ball come out? Carmine's acting like it did.
They're calling him down.
Of course they are. Caleb Sievers has the football in his hands, but they're going to say that Watson was down before them. No, they don't. Bobby Blondie turns around and says it's Carmi football.
Okay. Yes, I know our players were excited. I saw some commotion in there, and no side judge had signaled nobody, and then finally, Bobby says, yep, you do got it, Bulldogs.
Smallest man on the field in the stripes, Bobby Blondie.
Better late than never.
Exactly, man. Carmi in a prime spot here.
Wow. Well, it was Johnston City, the same scenario on their last possession.
Absolutely.
We thought it was a fumble in the Bulldogs' ball, and they said no. This time we thought he was down, and it is our ball. So
1st and 10 for Carmi now at the Johnston City 18-yard line.
Now, can we capitalize?
Under center is Leg. They'll toss it far side to King. Looking for blockers.
What a
cut.
cut.
To the middle of the field. Isaac King. Touchdown, Carmi, White County.
Oh, what vision. What vision. Oh, man, that same toss play. I thought he was just going to try to fight his way for 3 or 4 yards. Cut that back. It looked like Barry Sanders. That's Barry Sanders' vision. Indians defense was waiting on that toss, over pursued. Isaac saw the cutback, walked into the end zone, and just like that, the Bulldogs on the verge of going up 22-7.
Carmi has scored 20 unanswered points after the Indians got out to a 7-0 lead.
What did Coach Simon say last week? Turnovers could decide this game, and if you get one, do you capitalize? Well, there you go. The Bulldogs got one, and in one play, they capitalized.
Bulldogs will go for 2. Under center is Leg, and they
jump.
get the Indians to go offside for the 3rd time in this first half. So it will be a 1-yard play for the 2-point conversion.
Twice now, and that just comes down to discipline. You teach that from 5th grade up to the pros. You watch the football. And even though, it's not a tremendous, on the 2-point conversion, it's just a yard, you'll take it when you're facing a stout D-line front. Because they're going to just kind of leg dive here and try to keep us out. But
this Carmi offensive line has gotten better as the game has moved on in terms of getting a push.
Expect Odd on the crossbuck again.
You called it. Odd is in for 2. Took him a second to get in, but he's in. And your score with 7:24 to play in the second quarter. The Bulldogs have outscored the Indians 22-7 since their first possession. It's 22-7. 22-0, I meant. 22-7 is the score with 7:24 to play in the second quarter. We'll keep it here. But, man, Chris, what we talked about during the break, with the way this game started, Carmi, the 3-and-out, the bad snap, 7-0 just like that. And here we are, we're up by 2 scores.
And you just can't credit these kids enough because it just seems like nothing phases them. I could see a lot of teams in a big game like this to come out with your backs against the wall like that early on. You're kind of shell-shocked, and you just kind of crumble because, even our next possession, the first few plays weren't getting much, but then all of a sudden, King breaks the long run. We punch one in. We get our confidence. We stop them, and then we called it. Kurt Simon said last week, a team that can capitalize on a turnover, it may come down to that. Sure enough, right on cue, the Bulldogs recover one, punch it in, and what was a 7-6 deficit is now a 22-7 lead.
Edwards will kick this one away. 7:24 to go in the second quarter. Line drive kick that will be picked up from the 16-yard line, running across the right side. This is number 22 on the return for Johnson City, Jace Weaver, and he takes it up across the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for Johnson City. One thing I want to say, Chris, I've been to a lot of Carmi football games. I'm not sure if I've ever heard the visiting crowd be this loud.
Oh, man, it is just a wall of maroon and white across the way over here. I mean, fantastic attendance tonight.
And the longest drive of the season.
Credit our fans for showing up. Great to see that maroon and white sea over there.
Expected nothing less.
Absolutely.
So 1st and 10 for Johnson City at their own 32-yard line. 7:18 to go here in the second quarter. Bulldogs have scored 22 unanswered points. They lead it 22-7. So for the Indians, do you try to throw it a little bit down by this much?
You might expect it. You might see a play action.
They hand it off on the left side, or it's
He's
up
gone.
the middle. They got him with the fullback give. Peyton's got one man to beat. That's Trayton Vickers, and he is gone. Touchdown, Johnson City. Wow. Forget the pass. 68 yards.
Well, I think all of us were faked out on that.
Yep.
I thought that was going to be their toss sweep, and they just end up hitting the fullback up the middle. The entire defense was faked out on that one, and just like that, the Indians get some life right back. We expected nothing less.
Yeah. They faked everybody out right there. And
yeah.
It was a foot race with him and Trayton Vickers from about the Indian 45-yard line all the way to the end zone, and Vickers had a chance to get him.
That's the danger with that offense.
Yeah.
You play that sweep, you expect that toss, and then they just give to the fullback. And your second-level guys, it's hard to see with those foot-to-foot splits who's got the ball. And that time, no one on the Bulldog defense realized who had the ball until he was about 30 yards downfield.
Indians will go for two here, and they will toss it to Watson near side. He cuts back to the middle, and he's going to score. And the Indians, all of a sudden, are back within 7. With 7:05 to go in the second quarter, your score, the Bulldogs 22, the Indians 15. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUL.
Your family's care team is close to home at Hamilton Memorial Family Clinics in McLeansboro and Carmi. From routine care, vaccines and DOT physicals, to disease management, x-ray, lab work, and COVID testing. With 9 providers and 8 specialty care clinics, Hamilton Memorial has you covered. Plus, for those unexpected illnesses, our weekend walk-in clinic in Carmi and McLeansboro. Hamilton Memorial Hospital Family Clinics. Here for you now, like we've always been.
7:05 to go here in the second quarter. The Indians strike right back. So after a 22-0 Carmi run, the Indians find the end zone for the first time since the 9:05 mark in the first quarter to make this score 22-15. Bulldogs in front. Cole Carter and Chris Myers here in Johnson City. Asher Penrod and Cadence Driscoll also with us on the YouTube side of things. Scott Maring is back at the WRUL studio.
And you expect nothing less.
Absolutely.
This will be a slugfest. And the Bulldogs just got to turn around, get up, and answer.
So Dover will kick this one away, and it's a line drive kick. And Allen will field it from the 6-yard line. Running up the gut is Cade Allen across the 20-yard line, 25. And he'll be taken down at the Carmi-White County 30-yard line.
Got a flag on the far side. I don't know if that's a face mask potentially or a hold.
And usually on a special teams return play. Yeah, it's going to be a hold against Carmi.
Yep. That'll back us up to about the 20.
So 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Again, the Bulldogs had a 22-7 lead before that 68-yard touchdown run by Boston Payton. to put the Indians right back in it. And again, Chris, Carmi had all the momentum on their side, but now you hear the Indian sideline getting loud.
It can happen that quick.
Yeah.
Both these teams have that ability. And again, it was just a great play call by the Indians. They hadn't called the fullback dive all night. The entire Bulldog defense was just faked out by that. They've been running that motion, and with that motion is normally a sweep or a counter, and that time they hit the fullback and caught us asleep. Now we have to respond.
The ball put at the 20-yard line to the penalty. Under center his leg. They toss it near side to King. They're waiting for a block, and he's not going to get much. Took it just across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Not about a yard.
And what that play did for Johnston City as much as anything with them scoring, that revitalized their energy. Because that play on that last drive, King was running at will on that.
Yeah.
Now their defense is re-energized, their team's re-energized, and they can get back in this game. For the Bulldogs, you've just got to take your time and get some first downs. Johnston City, I believe, is left with only one timeout.
I think both teams just have one timeout left in this
So,
half.
you know, that could come into factor, but we got to move the chains on this drive.
Second down and 9. Leg will give it off on the counter on the right side to King. And again, just nowhere to go for Isaac King. He's pushed backwards.
That play has just not been there tonight. It just takes a long time to develop. And that wall over there on that left side with Logan Hunter and Jude Beers, I mean, that's a tough play to run against a big line like this.
So 5:50 left to go in the first half. Carmi leading by 7, 22-15. And the Bulldogs are facing a third down and 9 at their own 21-yard line.
And this is definitely, if you don't get this, we are punting.
Yeah, which is scary. Under center is Leg on third down and 9. Leg, they give it off in the dive to Odd, left side, and Odd's got nowhere to go. And the Indian defense will force a 3-and-out after the long run by Peyton. And the Bulldog punt team will run onto the field.
And you might say, why didn't we pass there? You just don't want to risk anything that deep in your territory. I think the Bulldogs were just trying to, one, obviously get a first down, but two, just get enough field position to punt the ball out of here. And you're right, Cole. You can feel the momentum shifting right now.
And the Indians don't even have anybody back to return this punt.
They may be trying to come after and block this thing.
Edwards standing at the 13-yard line. He gets it off. Line drive punt. Let's get a good roll here. We'll get a great roll. This one's going to roll all the way inside the Indian 30-yard line. And Isaac King will down it at the Johnston City 26-yard line. So a great way by the sophomore to make up for the bad snap earlier. Good punt by Edwards. And it puts the Indians back inside their own 30.
Well, great special teams play there. Punt team made up for what happened in the first quarter. Fantastic kick by Edwards.
Yeah.
And again, field position is critical. So now with 4:38 and one timeout, Johnston City can control their destiny here until halftime. Let's see if the Bulldogs can get them off the field without letting them get in the end zone.
4:38 to go here in the second quarter. Again, 22-15, Carmi in front. But the Indians have the football after a Carmi 3-and-out. Under center is Mowry. They'll move Watson in motion. They give it off up the middle yet again.
Fullback again. He's
and
gone.
again, this is going to be a touchdown for Johnston City on the fullback dive. Number 44, Evan Sanders. Touchdown, 74 yards.
Exact same play, just different ball carrier. In that backfield motion, it just fakes out the defense. You have to be wary of where everyone is at all times. Bulldogs overran it, and another busted play touchdown. 2 back-breaking touchdowns.
I mean, as soon as everybody realized he had the ball, there was nobody within 30 yards of him.
He didn't get touched.
And so now the Indians will attempt the extra point to try to tie this football game up with 4:26 to play here in the second quarter. Dover will be the kicker. He made one. He's made made one earlier in the ball game, and that one is good as well. And just like that, we are tied up at 22 with 4:26 to play in the first half. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUL.
Others have come and gone the past 70 years, but their dedication of superior service has helped them thrive for 4 generations at Rush Appliance in Fairfield and Carmi. They deliver quality Speed Queen products, and if you ever call them for service, they are in your driveway almost before you hang up your phone. Sean Rush is inviting you to check out Speed Queen washer and dryer pairs at Rush Appliance and Furniture in downtown Fairfield and Carmi.
Well, this game is what we expected it to be. With 4:26 to play in the first half, your score, Carmi-White County 22, Johnston City 22. This is Bulldog football on 97.3 WRUL, Carmi, Illinois, and also online worldwide at WRUL.com. Cole Carter and Chris Myers, Scott Maring back at the studio. Asher Penrod and Cadence Driscoll are running our live stream on the YouTube side.
You ever heard us say football's a game of momentum?
Yeah.
2 plays, 2 offensive plays from the Indians, and this game is tied. But again, we expected nothing less tonight. We said it was going to be a fight.
We knew the Bulldogs weren't going to be able to run away with this game.
Oh, no. It was going to be a fight. And
over a line drive kick, Allen from the 3-yard line, running across the right side of the field, tries to cut back to the middle, and Allen will take it up across the 25 and will push his way up to the 30. Not a bad return there by Allen. No flag. So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 30-yard line. So the Bulldogs fell 7-0. They were trailing 7-0, scored 22 unanswered points. And the Indians have scored a couple of their own touchdowns as well to tie this ball game up.
Just on the fullback dive. Again, with that foot-to-foot wedge offense, it is so easy to get lost in that backfield. And now the Bulldogs, quite honestly, need to get this to half without giving up any more points. They just need to hang on to this ball.
Indians will get the ball to start the second half. Under center is leg. They go counter near side to King. King's trying to bounce it, and he can't. Watson came in there as well as Mowry to bring him down. Mowry, that is. I stand corrected. Loss of a couple.
And as I said, they've just been all over that counter tonight. We just have not had success with that. And now a 2nd and long. Instead of being ahead of the chains, the Bulldogs have been somewhere or down somewhere they haven't been all year, consistently behind the chains. I think we got to try to do our best to maybe attack the edge again here. If we're not going to put it in the air, power I formation might see the ISO.
2nd down and 11. Under center is leg. They give it off on the dive to Odd on the right side. Odd stays on his feet across the first wave, and he will take it up to the Carmi 35. The Drax able to get about 7 yards there, and it brings up 3rd and 5.
That was just another will your way to yardage run by Drax Odd. Gives us a little breathing room there, 3rd and 5. That's makeable. So if we can convert this, if we can get a 1st down out of this, there's a chance we could be able to get this thing to halftime with the Indians only having 1 timeout. But again, no yardage has been easy tonight.
3rd down and 5. Ball off the Carmi 35 in a tie ball game at 22 apiece. Leg, they toss it on the right side to King, and King gets it across the first one, across the 45 and the 40 midfield. Isaac King at the 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5. Touchdown, Carmi-White County! 65 yards. Isaac King and the Bulldogs are right back in front.
What a run. Again, we went back to the perimeter toss. Isaac just took his time, let his block set up, broke a tackle, and did what he does. Use his vision, and again, he answers the bell. Much needed score by the Bulldogs. Again, I would have just been content to get it to halftime, but I'll take that.
Absolutely.
Any day.
Well, and Chris, we said before the game, these two teams don't have a whole lot of long runs. It's a lot of long drives, 3 yards here, 5 yards there. But we've seen the past couple of minutes
tonight.
A couple of 60-plus yard runs by both sides.
And still plenty of time for Johnston
Absolutely.
City. I mean, we've seen how quick they can score.
And again, the Indians will get the ball to start the 3rd quarter.
I'm just concerned about not getting the score before the half here.
Under center is leg in the T formation. They'll give it off to Odd off the right side, and Drax is
a little short.
2nd effort.
He didn't get
not going to get in.
Oh.
So it keeps it a 6-point game with 2:35 to play in the second quarter. Your score, Carmi White County 28, Johnston City 22. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUL.
You heard it right.
Citizens National Bank of Albion is making changes for the better.
Even better, that is.
Even better bank looks. Even better leadership.
For even better local decision making.
And even better products and services.
That's why Citizens National Bank of Albion is your 5-star and most trusted financial partners in Edwards, Wayne, White, Richland, and Lawrence counties.
Citizens National Bank of Albion, know even better banking.
Member FDIC, Equal House.
2:35 to go in the second quarter. After a 65-yard touchdown run by Isaac King, the Bulldogs find themselves back in front here in the 2022 Black Diamond Conference Championship game. 28-22, Bulldogs lead over Johnston City, but the Indians do have time. They've had 2 quick scores, a 68-yard run and a 74-yard run. They got them back in the ball game. Kickoff by Edwards, fielded from the 14-yard line, running across the 30-yard line up to the Indian 33-yard line. That was Weaver on the return. So 1st and 10 for Johnston City. Chris, I'm going to take a good guess. We're going to see a fullback dive here on this drive.
Very well could. And I was about to say, I hope we figured out to stop the fullback.
Yeah.
To at least look for him.
Yeah. And Carmi had a lot of momentum on their side there early in the second quarter. Those 22 unanswered points, took a 22-7 lead. Back-to-back long runs for the Indians after a Carmi punt. And then Isaac King, 65 yards, his 19th rushing touchdown of the season.
And you just got to be careful. You don't want to give up a score here before half because they do get the ball to start the third quarter. Look for the fullback.
Mowry under center. They move Watson in motion. They go with the fullback dive, and that time Carmi read it a little bit better. Nelson Ryder in there on the tackle as well as Draxon. So they go to the same play 3 plays in a row, and Carmi finally able to stuff it out.
Third time's a charm, as they say. Thank God, because those 60-yard runs, busted runs, are retired of getting seeing those.
2:08 to go in the second quarter. Again, 28-22. Bulldogs in front. Mowry under center. They move Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson near side. Watson trying to find the edge, and Driscoll will drag him down across midfield. That's going to Johnston City first down right to the midfield stripe.
And that's what the fullback dive creates, because now they force the Bulldogs to concentrate on that dive, and that created some vulnerability on the edge with the defense creeping in a little bit. Now that gave Watson some room to work.
Under 2 minutes to go in this first half. 28-22, Carmi with the lead. JC with the football. Mowry under center. They go fullback dive again. That is Payton, the ball carrier. And Boston Payton will take it up to the Carmi 47-yard line.
And the Indians do have 1 timeout left, 1:30. I think they're going to probably rely on a big hitter, or they're going to have to put the ball in the air at some point.
Yeah, Carmi can get a stop here on this possession. That'd be huge going into the halftime.
And this offense is tough to defend with the pass, too.
Under center is Mowry. They'll toss it far side to Dover. He's got good blockers in front, tries to cut back up the middle, and he'll take it down to the 40-yard line. He should have enough for a first down. Dover a little slow to get up. Ryder on the tackle.
Yeah, his lead blockers did a nice job on that sweep.
I almost wonder if he would have kept that outside, probably had a chance to bust that one.
Very well.
1:13 to go in the second quarter. Indians trying to strike before the half. 28-22, Bulldogs in front. Clock ticking now down to the 1-minute mark here in the second quarter. 1st and 10, ball at the Carmi 39-yard line. Under center is Mowry. Moves Watson in motion. They're going to go back to pass for the first time. Mowry's hit. He somehow held onto the football. That was Gavin Payton who shot through for the sack all the way back at midfield. A 10-yard loss. The Indians trying to put the football in the air, and the Bulldogs brought the blitz.
Well, you knew they were going to have to try it at least one time. And with this type of offense, a wedge offense, sometimes the pass can fool you, but not that time with Gavin Payton.
Second, 20 seconds. Again, the Indians, they have a field goal kicker if they get into range.
That might be what they're
beat on a potential pass play here if you're Carmi.
They're going to do one of two things. I think what they have to do, just logistics reasons, is put it in the air Just with that dive again. We haven't stopped.
Time.
Especially when you're trying to.
On that possession.
That was the changer because on the ground again, that kind of saved the drive there.
An exciting first half. I'm more excited for the second half. Leg will take a knee, and we will go to the locker room with your score. Carmi White County 28, Johnston City 22. We will take a 3-minute break, and we'll have the Jordan Funeral Group halftime show when we come back. Here, this is Bulldog Football on 97.3 WRUL.
When you're looking for an accountant, what comes to mind?
Trustworthiness, accuracy.
We're ready for the second half of action. The Bulldogs will kick this one away, and they lead it by 6. 28-22, Cole Carter and Chris Myers. It's been a fun one, and I can imagine the second half will be much of the same. Indians will get the ball to start this third quarter. It's a line drive kick by Mitchell Edwards, picked up by Weaver at the 15-yard line. Running it up the middle. Weaver will take it across the 40-yard line. Mitchell Edwards, the last man between him and the end zone, and he is taken down by Edwards at the 31. How about that start? It was actually Nolan Cossey on the return, and a great start to each half for Johnston City.
And I noticed they had some speedsters back there returning the ball in the first half, and you're Johnston City, you couldn't ask for anything better. If you're the Bulldogs, you couldn't ask for anything worse.
Yeah.
But we said
we've been in this
how it
spot
could go.
before.
Yeah, that's how it could go.
So the Indians will start this possession at the Carmi 31-yard line. Bulldogs got the stop to end the first half. A fumble by Isaiah Watson put the ball into Carmi's hands with about 6 seconds left. Bulldogs kneeled it out. So 11 seconds off this third quarter clock. Indians have the ball in Carmi territory, the 31-yard line. Under center is Mowry. He'll move Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson on the far side, and Watson will be taken down at the 27-yard line.
Nice job defending that inside toss that time by the Bulldogs. So it's 4-down territory for Johnston City regardless. So big possession here for Johnston City, but it's a big defensive test for the Bulldogs right here.
So second down and 6, ball at the Carmi 27-yard line. Under center is Mowry. He's got wingbacks on each side. The big man Peyton behind him. They're going to toss it to, that's Cossey, the ball carrier. He's going to be taken down by Trayton Vickers all the way inside the 20 to the Carmi 15-yard line. That's going to be enough for a Johnston City first down.
And you could start to feel that there towards the end of the second quarter, Cole. The Bulldog defense wasn't offering a whole lot of resistance to this run game. And I think Johnston City senses that too, so they're just starting to lean on us a little bit. And again, they don't have to be in a hurry for anything.
Absolutely. 1 minute gone here in the third quarter. Ball at the Carmi 15-yard line. 1st and 10, Johnston City. Bulldogs lead by 6. Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson, waiting for his blockers, and he'll be tripped up inside the 15 to about the 10. Got about 5 yards.
Same play. They ran basically the same play this entire drive. And they're taking a page out of Carmi's book. When you're getting 5-6 yards at a time, just keep calling it.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go.
That's been the case for both sides on offensively for both teams. So second down and 4 for Johnston City. Ball at the 10-yard line of Carmi. Under center is Mowry. He'll take the snap. Fumble. He fumbled the snap, but the Indians are able to fall on top of it. So the Bulldogs catch a break there. Really, Indians catch a break as the Johnston City falls on top of it. It's going to bring up third down and about 7 at the Bulldog 12-yard line. Definitely 4-down territory here for Johnston City. We are under 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 28-22 Carmi.
Well, there was a break the Bulldogs needed. Now they got to use every yard that was given to them from that. Obviously, you would have loved if we could have fell on it, but you'll take about a 2-3 yard loss on that.
Third down and 7. Mowry under center. He's got Peyton behind him. Watson's the wing back. They moved over in motion. They toss it to Watson. Left side, Gavin Payton was the first one to him, but he couldn't bring him down. But a pack of dogs comes in and finishes the play, and it's going to bring up 4th down. If you're the Indians, do you kick it here or go for it?
I think they're going to go for it, play the field position game. What I'm seeing, yeah.
They're talking to their kicker, number 12.
And I could be wrong.
Or at Dover is their kicker, number 23 actually, but they're bringing 12 into the ball game. Number 12 is Keaton Fort. He's a 6'4" junior.
Yeah, I don't see a kicking team.
They're going to go for it.
Yeah, I figured they would.
4th down and 6 from the Carmi 11-yard line.
Well, they got a wide out.
Big play right here. Under center is Mowry. Moves Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson on the near side. Watson turns the field. I don't think he got there.
He is short.
Taken down at the 6-yard line. He did not get there.
No,
it's going to be a turnover on downs. That's a Rush Appliance first down.
And how huge was that? That fumble turned out to be the difference. Those 2 yards were what we needed just to create that. They changed their formation there. They sent a receiver out wide to create space for Watson to get out wide on that toss. But credit the Bulldog defense working. I couldn't tell who that was who made the tackle. I missed that. If that was
might have been Peyton.
Peyton or Gomez, who one of them got off their block anyway from out wide, made a huge stop. But that 2-yard fumble, that was the difference in that drive, because if they don't fumble, that's a first down.
Do have one stat from Toby Brown from that first half. Isaac King, 192 yards there in the first half.
An almost 200-yard first half.
Bulldogs start this drive from their own 7. They toss it to King, looking for running room, and King will take it up across the 10.
Did he put that on the ground?
I think he might have.
I think he did too.
I think Carmi was able to fall on it, though.
Yeah, he did. I saw Johnston City
both
players
teams have had a hard time hanging on to the football.
Just things we haven't seen all year, you know.
But again, against the 2 good defenses, they're going to be punching at the football. That's part of it.
That's what happens when you start playing good defenses. It's not, and that's a coaching point in football now. Trying to strip the football, knock the football, that's taught a lot more than it ever was in years past. It's taught almost as much as just tackling is.
8 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 28-22. Carmi has the lead and the football at their own 10-yard line. 2nd and 7. They give it off to, this is Dotson up the middle. Dotson tries to bust it outside, and he's taken down at the Carmi-White County 28-yard line. The Bulldogs go with a fullback dive of their own, and Dotson breaks free for his first carry of the night.
Well, Carmi said, if you guys can hit the fullback dive, so can we. And that was a much-needed gain because that gave us some breathing room.
Absolutely.
We kind of got in our tee, run our crossbuck, and Dotson, I don't think, had but maybe 1 carry the first half, so that's a nice change of pace because they were looking for King on that play. So Carmi says, you can do it, we can do it too, and gave us some breathing room.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from their own 28-yard line. 7.5 to go here in the third quarter. The handoff to Odd, left side. Odd trying to bounce off a couple of defenders. Maybe got a yard up to the 30, maybe 2 yards.
That was just
bring up 2nd and 8.
Second man through dive out of the wing. Looked like the exchange wasn't very clean on that. I thought the leg might have bobbled that, so glad we just got that handoff completed. Every possession is
absolutely
beyond critical. Every possession for both teams.
Black Diamond Conference Championship on the line for both these teams.
2 heavyweight fighters going at it.
2nd down and 7. Under 7 to go here in the third quarter. 28-22. Bulldogs in front. Under center is Leg. They leg with miscommunication. He's got the football, and he's going to be taken down. Back at the Carmi 21. So miscommunication on who was supposed to get the football, and Leg is forced to be taken down back at the Carmi 23. And so now it's 3rd down and long for the Bulldogs. That's a drive breaker right there.
That was a massive, massive mistake by the Bulldogs. Not sure what the play call was, but there was definitely miscommunication. Leg was looking to hand it off to somebody, and that's about all you can do in that situation. Just take your lumps and don't fumble it. Now we're either going to just have to run a conservative play. I don't think we're going to put it in the air here.
3rd down and 11. Under center is Leg. He takes a snap. They toss it near side to King. Isaac trying to go to the outside. Breaks 1 tackle. Takes it across the 30. And Isaac will get it up to the 35. Was able to get about 8. He's not going to have a first down.
Again, that was him willing that first down because they were waiting on it. They were waiting on that toss, and we are going to punt.
Yeah,
that's the right decision. You just can't risk not getting that first down on this side of the field.
JC has had their fair share of short fields in this game. You don't go back to the last drive when they had the nice kickoff return. But again, the Indians are not sending anybody back to return the punt. Last time that happened, Edwards had a nice punt that got a good Carmi roll. And now they send Watson back deep. That's a dangerous return to there.
Yeah, you don't want to kick to him. You're going to try to directional kick this.
And again, the most important thing here is getting that snap cleanly. And they do so. Edwards will boot it.
Good
he shanked
kick.
it. It went out of bounds. Had good height. It just went too much to the left. Now the question is where they're going to mark it out of bounds. They're going to say it went out of bounds at the Indian 46-yard line.
He had the right idea. It just got a little too much off the side of his foot. But
so the Bulldog offense able to get a first down on the run to Dotson, but they punt the ball away, and it gives the ball to the Indians at the Johnston City 46-yard line. 5:06 to go here in the third quarter. Bulldogs lead 28-22.
And we talk about it, mistakes against good football teams both ways.
Yeah.
Can create disaster. Johnston City with that fumble down there really cost them a chance at a touchdown. Let's see what they do here. They do have good field position.
First down and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Mallory under center. They toss it on the right side to Watson, trying to find a running lane. Watson's got a running lane. Takes it inside the Carmi 40-yard line, and he's pushed out of bounds into Carmi territory. First and 10 at Johnston City.
Well, he took a page out of Isaac King's book. He just took his time, waited on that convoy to come around, and they just blew the Bulldogs off the ball that play.
16-yard
Gavin Payton will have to come out of play.
Jackson Staten will come in for him as Payton's helmet came off.
Folks home, if you're wondering, that is a rule in high school football. If a player's helmet comes off, he has to come off the field for a play.
So first and 10 for the Indians from the Carmi 38-yard line, a 6-point Bulldog lead. Mowry will toss it to Watson, looking to turn up field and tripped across the 35, inside the 35 to about the Carmi 33.
And the exact same play. That's kind of a tendency, if you notice, Johnston City. If they find success with the play, they'll come right back to it. They're not afraid to just run the same play nonstop. It's still working.
4.5 to go in this third quarter. Bulldogs leading Johnston City 28-22 here in the Black Diamond Conference Championship. It's 2nd and 5 for the Indians from the Carmi 33-yard line. Mowry under center. Here in the wing T formation, they move Watson. They toss it to Watson on the right side again. Watson will take it inside the 25 to the Carmi 24. That's going to be enough for a Johnson City first down.
Trayton Vickers came up with a potentially touchdown-saving tackle there, and Watson's down.
Watson was a little slow to get up on the last play. Wonder if it's a cramp or possibly an injury. They're going to take an injury timeout. We'll go ahead and take one as well. We'll step aside for 30 seconds right here on 97.3 WRUL. Four minutes to go in the third quarter. Indians had the football, 1st and 10 at the Carmi 34-yard line, 28-22. Carmi with the lead. Mowry, they go with the fullback give up the middle and taking it inside the 15-yard line. That time is Sanders. They go back to the fullback give for the first time in a few minutes. And that's going to take it up to the Carmi 12-yard line. 1st and 10, Johnson City. Under 4 to play in the third.
Touchdown-saving tackle there by the safety. I believe that might have been Driscoll. But you can see this Johnson City Indian team is starting to wear down Carmi. And on our possessions, we're not moving the ball like they are on theirs, so it's a factor.
1st down and 10 from the 12. They toss it. This is going to be Weaver, the ball carrier. Correction, that's Dover. And Dover is slammed down by Bryson Moore back at the 15-yard line. Good job by the senior defensive lineman.
Much needed play there. I think Dover kind of filling in for Watson until they get him back in. And
there he is back in the ball game.
On cue. So that definitely changes the scope of things with him back in.
3 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. They called a loss of 3 on the play. So it's going to be 2nd and 13, ball at the Carmi 15-yard line.
Let's see if Carmi can take advantage of 2nd and long.
6-point Bulldog lead. Mowry under center. They'll take the snap. They toss it on the right side. This is going to be Kossi, the ball carrier, and he runs right into Tyler Gomat and others in there on the tackle. Kossi able to get about 3 yards, maybe 4. And again, 3rd down, probably 4-down territory here for the Indians.
Nice play by Gomat coming up and snuffing that out quick. He just kind of got inside the pulling guard, and then Bryson Moore arrived to finish the job. 3rd and long, 4-down territory. Monster down coming up right here. And you're right, Cole, this could be a possibility where maybe they might consider kicking. But as strong as their run offense has been, I'd say they'll go 4 downs.
3rd down, 11 from the Carmi 13-yard line. They go with the fullback give, and that was Sanders, the ball carrier. Carmi read it. Moore on the tackle as well as Odd. Big Eli Bryant also in there. And here we go again. It's 4th down.
Massive stop there. That fullback dive has been their bread and butter. This time the big boys up front for Carmi were waiting on it.
The thing of it is, Chris, is they didn't get much on that 3rd down, so now it's one thing to have a 4th and 2, 4th and 3, but here it is at 4th and 9, or about 4th and 8 from the Carmi 10-yard line, and the Indians might burn a timeout here to figure out what they want to do.
Yeah, I would expect it. Maybe they try to get Watson on the edge. You got a lot of real estate out there. The field side, we'll see what they do.
So the Indians do call a timeout. 1:24 to go in the third quarter. We'll take one as well. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUL. To go here in the third quarter after a Johnson City timeout. Cole Carter and Chris Myers. Big thanks to Scott Maring back at the WRUL studio. Asher Penrod and Cadence Driscoll are here running the laptop and the camera for us. We do apologize for the issues we've had on the YouTube side of things. We've worked through them, and we appreciate your patience back at home. You have been tuning in to a fantastic football game, but a big play coming up. 4th down and 8. Ball at the Carmi 10-yard line. What will the Indians go to here? They got a long way to go. They can get a first down without scoring. Mowry, they move Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson. He cuts inside. He's going to drive those feet to the goal line. Down at the 1.
A bunch of Bulldog defenders had their chance at him. I thought we were going to have him down with about a 2-yard gain, but he just kept his legs moving. That was a fantastic run by Isaiah Watson, showing you why he's also an All-Black Diamond Conference player as well.
Man, Tyler Gomat had him as soon as he got that pitch.
I thought he was going to get him down. I thought he had him.
So the clock is, oh, it wasn't a touchdown, I'm sorry. I said the clock is still running, but it was a first down. So 1st and goal at the Bulldog 1-yard line. Mowry under center. He'll take the snap, quarterback sneak, touchdown Johnson City.
Well, we said football's a game of inches. And Watson got him the inch they need to get that first down. And it looked like he was stopped.
Yeah, fantastic. We talked about Isaac King kind of making some plays by himself tonight. That was all Isaiah Watson there on 4th and 8 to get 8.5 yards. And so the Indians will attempt the extra point to try to go back in front. It'd be their first lead since it was 7-6 early in the second, and
they're going to go for 2.
They're going to go for 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't blame him here. They got a lot of momentum. Watson just got in on a 3rd and 9.
We have some confusion on who's in on the formation. Play clock already down to 10. So a big 2-point play here. Mowry under center. Moves Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson. Turning upfield, and he's in, and the Indians have the lead. With 56 seconds left to play in the third quarter, your score, Johnson City 30, Carmi White County 28. We will take a 30-second break. Be right back here on 97.3 WRUL. The third quarter, as the Indians reclaim the lead on the touchdown run, the quarterback sneak there by Mowry, and then Watson ran to the 2-point play with 56 seconds to play. The Indians lead at 30-28. So Mowry with the quarterback sneak. So the Bulldogs offense, who has been relatively quiet here in the second half, a couple of punts, not much going in their direction. They need a good drive here, down by 2. So Dover set to kick this one away. It's a line drive kick. King will field it at the 10-yard line. King running up the gut. He's got a couple of blockers, now cuts back to the middle, and he's taken down at the Carmi-White County 28-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from that spot. You know, Chris, one thing to think about, both these teams, obviously run-heavy teams, they kill a lot of clock. You got to think, if you're Carmi, how many more possessions do you have?
With 50 seconds left in the third quarter and your defense honestly starting to bend and break a little, you don't have your normal comfort level.
This feels like a must-score drive.
It definitely is. You know, at what point you kind of have to get out of your box, so to speak.
Under center is leg in the T formation. Hand off to Dotson up the gut. Dotson able to grind out for about 4 yards up to the Carmi 33. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
But again, if the Bulldogs can get a score here and a conversion on this drive, you know, then it's back to a 36-30 game. The problem is we just have not shown the ability since the second quarter to stop this Johnston City offense.
And our offense as well just has not been going.
2 3-and-outs.
Here in the second half. Final play of the third quarter right here. We are under 20 seconds. Leg is under center in the T formation. He will turn and give it off to King. Second man through off the right side. Isaac trying to bust it to the outside. He can't. He's wrapped down at the 34. And that's going to be the final play of the third quarter. We go to the 4th and final stanza. Buckle up your seatbelts here in the Black Diamond Conference Championship. Johnston City leads it 30-28. Back in 1 minute right here on 97.3 WRUL. So we start the fourth quarter of play. Going to be 3rd down and 5 for Carmi at their own 34-yard line. Indians lead it 30-28. Leg under center in the T formation. Warren will hand it off on the left side, to the right side to King. Dodging defenders, and King will take it up to the 39. Man, he's right at that first down marker. I'm not sure if they'll give it to him.
He's an inch short if they don't give it to him.
The official comes in with the closed fist. It is 4th down.
Carmi has to go for it here. And they are. With the way Johnston City's moving the football, I don't think you can give it to him right here.
30 seconds gone here in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs will go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 37-yard line. And a timeout called by Kurt Simon as the Indians were stacking the box. I mean, Chris, this is a tough play call. I mean, the way the Indians have, been shooting in the gaps and they've made it real hard to run up the middle. It's a tough play call.
Yeah, I think maybe you can look for the off-tackle crossbuck to the left maybe with Odd. But coming right at him, a quarterback sneak, we're probably a little outmanned on that. But this is just such a tough one. I know there's 11:22, and you say there's a lot of time, there's this, but, I mean, to change momentum, I think you have to go for it.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it, it could be dire. But the way Johnston City's moving the football regardless, I mean, they have a 2-point lead now, and they could grind that clock down. I think if we do end up going for this, it's the right call. I really do.
I also got a thing with it being a 2-point lead for JC, a touchdown and an extra point makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah.
Which probably was the reasoning as to why they went for 2 after the last score.
Right.
Instead of taking the 1-point lead.
Yeah. And it turned out to be the right decision for them.
So here we go. Carmi is going to go the tight formation here on 4th and a yard from their own 38-yard line. Under center is Legg. Indians stack the line of scrimmage. Throw the flag. Oh, he jumped offside. They don't throw the flag, but Legg's going to get the quarterback sneak anyway.
And he got it.
That's one way to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't
know. Cole.
I've seen a lot of neutral zone infractions, and that looked like one, but it doesn't matter regardless.
Yeah, we'll take the first down, and much-needed first down there.
Man, the Indians, you really saw the push from Carmi right there. The Indians had their Division I nose tackle right in front of Nelson Ryder.
And if the Bulldogs can run an 9-minute drive here, that would be great.
Legg, they'll toss it on the far side to King, looking to turn upfield, now wants to bounce it outside, and Isaac tackled to the backfield. And a penalty flag flies in on the tackle.
I don't know what they're going to call there, if that's a hold or a face mask. It's 1 of the 2 normally.
The Indians shot upfield. King tried to belly it out. And that's a penalty against the Indians. And so I'm thinking face mask or horse collar, one or the other.
I just saw him signal face mask or horse collar.
Huge break there for the Bulldogs. That's going to be 15 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, those are 15-yard penalties either way. Wow.
So we're 10:52 to play here in the 4th quarter. Johnston City 30, Carmi White County 28. The football is at the Indian 45-yard line. Legg goes under center with a wing back on the right side. That's Dotson. The officials come in and blow this one dead, trying to figure out, I assume, where the football needs to be exactly.
Yeah. If it's a spot foul, it needs to come from.
I'll tell you what, the Johnston City student section is chanting overrated. Isaac King has over 200 yards in this game, so you can chant whatever you want.
No, he's not overrated. Johnston City's coaches are incredulous, to say the least, right now with the call, but.
Under center is Legg here on 1st and 10 from the 45. They give it off to King on the near side. King tries to bust it. He does, and King has a 40 across the 40-yard line down the sideline. King still going inside the 20, and Isaac King is taken down inside the 15-yard line, but a flag is down.
I thought I saw a hold at the top of the field, but right at the edge, so it is going to come back.
Just a matter of where they threw the flag.
Threw it right around the 38-yard line.
Where the penalty was committed.
Yeah.
Back it up 10 yards from that spot.
Yeah. It was committed right when he got around the edge, so that's going to back us up 10 yards regardless.
So King took it all the way inside the Indian 20, but it's going to come back. And so
it'll be first and about
14 maybe.
Yeah
14-13. They put the football at the Indian 48-yard line. So now you just back it up 4 yards, 1st and 14. Could be worse, but obviously you'd love to have that long run.
Yeah. We went from the ball inside the 20 now back to our side of the field.
10-14 to play here in the 4th quarter. Johnston City leads at 30-28. Under center is Legg. He takes the snap. They go with the counter. Left side to King. King turns upfield, gets it across the 40-yard line, 40, and he's taken down at the 35. If he's inside the 35, it'll be enough for a Rush Appliance first down. I think he did.
And the counter finally came through for us tonight.
It's been a tough time running that play tonight.
The traditional 47 counter with the double handoff, and we get that yardage right back. So you'll take that. And more importantly, it's eating up the the game clock.
So it's a Rush Appliance first down inside the JC 35-yard line. So the holding penalty doesn't hurt the Bulldogs too much. The Bulldogs come back out in the wing set formation. Dotson is the wing back on the right. Odd and King behind Legg. Warren gives it off to Odd left side, and Draxon will keep those feet turning inside the 30-yard line, and he's taken down at the Johnston City 27. So a good job for Draxon Odd to turn a 1-yard gain into about a 7-yard pickup. Under 9.5 to go.
And this is perfect because these are big chunks of yards. making the clock tick down. We're deep in their territory, so we got all kinds of time. Because honestly, you want to keep Johnston City's offense off the field as long as you can if you're Carmi. Because they have quite frankly dominated our defense these last 2 quarters.
Under center is Legg on 2nd down and 4. Warren will toss it far side to Odd. He turns upfield. Odd was going to have the first down. A penalty flag flies in from the near side of the field.
That's in the hold area.
Oh. And that hold was probably, I was going to say, on the back side. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, the golden rule there when you're a backside tackle or a backside guard, just don't let them.
Yep.
Don't let them across your face. And holding penalty against the Bulldogs, the second one on this drive.
And again, things that are uncharacteristic of Carmi that have been uncharacteristic all year, penalties in key situations. This is 2 in a row. A holding penalty negated a massive gain by King. Fortunately, we got it back. And
so this one only really works as a 2-yard loss. You don't lose the down, though, so it's 2nd down. Or they haven't probably marked the football back yet.
Yeah,
they're going to back it up.
The spot.
So we'll put the football all the way at the JC 40. 39. Those penalties, they'll kill you.
And that's tough. You go from 2nd and maybe 2 to 2nd and 15.
8:43 to play here in the 4th quarter. Johnston City leads at 30-28. Under center is Legg here on 2nd down. Warren hands it off to King, near side. King turning upfield, and he is going to spin his way up to about the 36-yard line. Brings up 3rd down. And Isaac a little bit slow to get up on, he's just tying his shoe. Yeah. So here we go, 3rd down. They're going to call it 3rd and 11, maybe 12, from the Johnston City 37-yard line.
And
8 minutes to go.
Without question, 4 down territory, but this is a tough 12 yards. This is going to be the toughest 2 downs of this Bulldog season.
Legg is under center. He takes the snap. He's back to pass. He's got time. Legg, nowhere to go now. He rolls out to his left. Legg throws one down the field. It is incomplete. He was looking for Nate Brown, and it's 4th down.
Thought he was going to try to run for a little bit of yards. Incompletion works just as good. So now 4th and 12, and not a position we're very good at, to be quite frank with you.
And we really haven't had this position very many times. This is the first time all year we've had 4th and 10 plus.
I thought for a second he was trying to set up a
and
screen.
Carmi's going to, they're going to punt the football?
I think we are.
An interesting decision. They're going to punt the football. Mitchell Edwards is out there. The ball is at the Indian 37-yard line.
I think he's just trying to play field position the best we can. Now we got to burn a timeout.
Bulldogs will burn a timeout.
And that could be crucial.
Yeah.
That could be critical.
7:39 to play in this ball game. We'll keep it here. Timeout taken by Carmi. 30-28, Indians lead. 7:39 to play. Well, Chris, what do you think? Do you think punting it is a smart thing to do here?
Well, you know, with 4th and 12, if you can just get some yardage, back him up a little, I think his hope is to maybe, if Mitchell can pooch punt this and just back him up, get him inside the 10 maybe. I think the fear is if we go for this and don't get it, they're still going to have really solid field position.
Yeah.
And with the fact that our defense showed very little to stop them their last few drives, I think he's just hoping, okay, pin them back. Maybe our defense can finally come up with some stops. We still have our timeouts. We get the ball back with decent field position. Maybe with not a ton of time, just enough to kind of run this thing down if we do get the ball back.
So 4th down and 12.
It's just a very 4th and 12 is, I mean, there's not a lot of play calls for 4th and 12, especially when we don't throw the ball that often.
So Edwards is back to punt. He's going to stand back at the Johnston City 48-yard line. Good snap. It's a fake punt.
They saw it.
Edwards, he's got all the time in the world. Now he throws one the far sideline, incomplete.
They spotted it. Number 12 for Johnston City spotted it. Keaton Ford. What they were doing, if you notice, on our sidelines, number
Cade Allen.
Cade Allen was over there looking like he was talking to Coach Simon.
Yep.
It's kind of an old trick play. The defense doesn't think he's out on the field participating. Well, he is. He just turned to look like he's talking to the coach. Fort recognized it. He went over there and he covered it the last second. Had they not recognized it, it was open. And Edwards, as we've seen, as a punter, he can throw. It was a good idea, but Johnston City caught it.
Still lots of time, though. 7.5 minutes to go. A 2-point Indian lead. They have the ball at their own 36-yard line. Mowry under center. They toss it to Watson. Up the gut. Watson gets it across the 40-yard line, and he's off to the races. 45-40, 35-30. Isaiah Watson is tripped up by Caleb Peters inside the 30-yard line, and that is not what you want to see if you're Carmi-White County.
No. And again, it looked like more than once he was going to be stopped. But he's very similar to Isaac King in the fact that he allows his blockers to get out in front and do their thing. And quite frankly, you can just really feel the momentum going to Johnston City. This Bulldog defensive line is getting worn out. They're starting to lean on us. And if they score here, this quite frankly could be a backbreaker.
And it'd be a 2-score game if they get the extra point. Mowry under center. You're going to let that play clock tick down. Now down to 5. They give it off up the middle to the fullback, Peyton. And he didn't have much running room there. No gain there for Boston Peyton.
And you'll take that if you're Carmi. You'll take anything you can get at this point.
You're really asking for 4 plays here from Carmi's defense.
Without question.
4 plays. Give yourself a chance.
And keep them out of the end zone.
Yep.
You have to. I mean, you could honestly say a score here could end this game.
2nd down and 9. Ball at the Carmi 17-yard line. Under center is Mowry. In the wing back, double wing formation. Mowry under center. They move Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson, running up the middle, and Watson is taken down from behind up to the 10. He's about 2 yards shy of a first down.
Another back-breaking run there by Watson.
And so many times it just seems like Carmi's got him near the line of scrimmage, and he just breaks it off for a 6 or 7 yard run.
I mean, him and Isaac are similar runners.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, it's just they have started to win the battle at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down, and they call it 3 from the Carmi 11-yard line. Mowry under center. Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson up the middle, and Watson is going to be taken down, I believe, just inside the first down marker to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, looks like he has it.
Depending on where they mark it. What are they going to say? Is it 4th down or first down?
Well, he said to wind the clock, so it looks like they marked him short.
Still waiting for the officials to get the chain set.
I think they marked him short.
They're going to say. They're going to say.
No, first down.
Now they say 1st and goal.
It is 1st down. Okay.
1st and goal, Johnston City from the Carmi 7-yard line. Bulldogs' hopes at a conference championship comes down to these 7 yards in these final 5 minutes. 30-28, Johnston City with the lead. Mowry is under center.
They're going to up the play clock.
Let that play clock tick down. Inside 10 now. Down to 5. They move Watson. They toss it to Watson up the middle, and Watson will be stuffed and pushed back a yard.
And, the thing is, if he did have the first down, the clock should have stopped. At least 30 seconds burn off the clock before they
decided it was first down.
So, I mean, that's huge for the Bulldogs if you manage to hold them out here.
4:15 to play in the 4th quarter. Johnston City has the football at the Carmi 9-yard line. 2nd down and goal. 30-28, Johnston City with the lead. Mowry under center. They move Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson on the far side. Watson stumbles down, and he's taken down at the Carmi 7-yard line. So here we go, 3rd down and goal from the 7.
Well, that was a fantastic job up top by Isaac King. Fighting off that block, forcing Watson back inside, allowing Siebers, Ryder, and company to come in and help him out. But man, that was a huge stop. But again,
if Carmi gets a stop here, they're not going to have much time.
Yeah.
And you wonder how many timeouts does Carmi have left?
Carmi has 2. We've burned 1.
And that was before that punt, that big punt.
And that 30 seconds that burn off the clock is huge. And that's Johnston City is just going to.
They're going to burn a timeout.
Yeah.
So it stops the clock with 3:11 to play.
And 3rd and 7 is nothing for this Indian offense as they've shown this second half.
The football is at the Carmi 7-yard line with 3:11 to play. 30-28, Johnston City with the lead. If they score the touchdown and get the extra point, just about do it. Carmi's defense desperate for a stop to give themselves a chance.
And if Carmi's defense does get the stop, you know, you figure they run this play. If we do get a stop, it's 4th down. They can burn another 25 seconds off the clock. They're going to.
Would you use a timeout here if you get a stop?
Man, that's tough because you're going to need it on your drive at some point. Either way, quite honestly, if worst case for Johnston City, they don't get in the end zone here, Carmi's going to have to go
90-plus yards
just to get a score. And we're not a 90-plus yard in 2-minute type team.
Who knows? We haven't been in that spot this season. They might have something up their arm that
we'll have to go to the well.
Yep.
But that's why you play. These guys are going to fight. We believe in these kids. You got 2 downs to keep JC out of the end zone, and it's possible. They may use a timeout here because 1st down is used off the clock. But we got to get stops first.
3rd down and goal from the 7-yard line. Mallory under center. Watson in motion. They toss it to Watson. He runs up the middle, and Watson will stay on his feet. Touchdown, Johnston City.
He's just so patient. Allow time to let his line do their thing. If they get the conversion here, that's going to do it.
Carmi's got to pray for a blocked field goal. Their only hope, down by 8. 36-28, 3:04 to play here in the ball game. If Dover can hit this extra point, they'll just about do it. And the snap. Dover's kick.
It's good.
It's good. 3:04 to play in the ball game. Your score, Johnston City 37, Carmi White County 28. We'll take a 30-second break right here on 97.3 WRUO. Well, Chris, we made the point earlier in the broadcast. You wonder if Carmi missing those two-point conversions makes a difference. That's going to be the difference in the ball game.
It is. And quite honestly, the difference in the ball game has been the play of Johnston City in the second half.
Absolutely. I mean,
along with that,
this is a very good football team.
It is.
There is no question about that.
You credit them. Isaiah Watson, that last possession, when they went up 30-28, I mean, I thought Watson was stopped. It was 3rd and 7 or 4th and 7, whatever it was. They were inside our 10. I thought we had him stopped, and he kept his legs moving. He's a phenomenal football player. He really is.
It's a pooch kick from Dover. It's going to take a high bounce. Trayton Vickers from the 25-yard line, trying to go near side, and he'll be tripped up and taken down at the Carmi 29. So 2:57 on the clock. It's a 2-score game. I believe Carmi has 2 timeouts left.
Well, you don't have time to run the ball.
Carmi definitely has had their opportunities in this football game.
And just didn't capitalize on some opportunities. Couple plays, we had Isaac broke the long run down here late in the third, called back for holding. Another first down play called back for holding. Penalties, uncharacteristic mistakes have cost the Bulldogs dearly.
Legg will toss it to King. He's trying to find some running room, and Isaac will run it up just shy of the 40 to the 39-yard line. There's not much you can do here if you're Carmi.
No. And if you're not going to attempt to throw, the clock's just going to run out on you anyway.
Gains to the 34.
And again, so Johnston City, assuming nothing happens in the final 2.5 minutes, is going to win their third consecutive Black Diamond Conference championship. And this one's going to sting for Carmi.
You know, you look back in this game when it was 22-7.
Legg back to pass. He'll throw one on the far sideline. Intercepted. Penalty flag flies in.
Maybe interference.
Picked off by Cossie, and he's taken down inside the Carmi 35, and there's a penalty flag
down. They call
down.
pass interference here.
I'd imagine that's going to be the call.
But is it offensive? Nope, we're talking to the Bulldogs, so, wow, we got a break.
Yep. And again, I mean, you've got to throw the football here. You really have no choice.
Yeah, they have to, and the Indians will be prepared for it at this point.
Indian fans aren't too happy about the penalty. It's going to be it's not a spot foul. It's going to be 15 yards, I believe, from the from the line of scrimmage. So it's going to put the football at the Carmi 49-yard line. And if you're Carmi, you're in. Your only chance here is a score in the next 45 seconds. Try to get an onside kick. You've got 2 timeouts. Legg under center. Counter right side to King. King gets it across the line of scrimmage, and a penalty flag comes in as King is taken down at the 45, and that might be a face mask.
Hoping so. It's in that hold territory too, though.
They're talking to Johnston. I think it might be a hold against Carmi.
A lot of laundry on the field tonight. Yep. Oh, face mask.
Oh, face mask against the Indians.
Only 5 yards.
That helps Carmi. Puts the football at the JC 39-yard line. So 2:04 to go. The clock is ticking. 37-28. Johnston City with the lead.
We're huddling.
You've got to hurry.
Kind of surprised at the lack of urgency by the Bulldogs here, to be honest with you.
Under center is Legg. Here on 1st and 10. Back to pass is Legg. He's going to step up. Now he's going to take off. Warren will take it inside the 35-yard line, and he's taken down at the Indian 32.
And you got to no huddle. You got to get back on the ball if you're Carmi.
And again, this is a Carmi team that's just not.
It's not our thing.
Not prepared for a situation like this.
Yeah, we haven't had to run a 2-minute drill all year.
Down to 82 seconds left to play.
They have to. Don't get it here. You got to spike the ball.
Under center is Legg. They toss it to King. Trying to turn up field. Isaac stumbles but stays on his feet. Spins away from one tackler. Isaac is at the 20-yard line. And a penalty flag flies in as Isaac goes into the end zone. But there is a penalty flag. 2 penalty flags.
Yep.
Oh.
They are going to call a hold.
Oof. And that, I mean, you're in a tough spot regardless. That would have helped you a little bit.
Story of the night.
Yep.
We could have got that one in, got a conversion, and an onside.
Too many self-inflicted wounds for Carmi. Way too many self-inflicted wounds.
Wow. How many times tonight have big runs been called back? Holding.
Especially here in the second half.
It's simple. You just can't shoot yourself in the foot against good teams. And we've uncharacteristically done that tonight. And it's part of the reason why Johnston City is leading this game 37-28 with a minute 05 left.
So the penalty puts the football back at the Johnston City 36-yard line. 1:05 to play. Carmi trails by 2 scores, 37-28. Under center is Legg in the power I formation. They toss it to King on the right side. Isaac trying to turn upfield, waiting for his blocks to set up, and he'll be taken down at the Indian 26.
And the clock should stop, yeah.
It's going to stop.
Now you got to be on the ball.
And Carmi's going to burn a timeout.
Stopped at the 27-yard line.
And again, it comes down to the fact that this team is just not a team that can score twice in 2 minutes.
No,
and that's
that's not what we do.
They haven't had to, and You know, hey, we knew it was going to happen eventually.
And you have to have it in the back of your mind, you know, when that time comes, you know, when what you do well isn't made for that situation. And if you're a run-only team, you know, when you do have to pull the pass out of your bag, you know, and it's not what you do consistently, then it gets tough. And you've seen it. You've seen what happens when you stop a running team. You know, this is the advantage. And Johnston City, quite frankly, is just taking a page out of our book. You know, you look back when this game was 22-7, we were all thinking, okay, Bulldogs, you know, they're a series away from really maybe just taking this thing home.
You really got to look back to those
and then in
two fullback dives, touchdowns.
2 plays. It took 2 plays. That game's tied, and quite frankly, even though the Bulldogs scored, get a little momentum back, you just never felt that Carmi had the momentum after that final touchdown they got. It's been all Johnston City since then.
So Carmi's going to spread things out here. 3 receivers left. Leg back to pass. They bring the pressure right up the middle. Leg's going to throw one down the field, incomplete. Driscoll fell down.
Leg had a lot of pressure. Yeah. Coming from 44.
No, Sanders, if we've said his name a lot tonight.
Oh, he's been all over the field tonight. And also number 9, Jude Beers. Those 2 guys have just been flat out fantastic on defense tonight. So they rushed Leg into that throw.
So Carmi's going to bring out Landon Driscoll. Gomat goes out wide to the left. And it's Leg in the shotgun. 50 seconds left. High snap. Leg corrals it. Tries to run with it. Nowhere to go. And he's sacked in the backfield.
They meant to hand it off to Isaac King, but the high snap took care of that. And you can see the other problem. When you're not a shotgun team, snaps can be an issue.
Clock down to 30 seconds. Carmi, they burned their last time out.
Now they're just going to let it run.
Indians can start to feel it. Down to 22 seconds. 37-28 is your score, and that might be your final.
I think it is your final.
15 seconds. In the shotgun is Leg. Low snap. They hand it off to King. He runs right into defensive lineman Logan Hunter, and that's how this ball game comes to an end. Your final score, Johnston City 37, Carmi White County 28, and the Johnston City Indians are your 2022 Black Diamond Conference champions. Wow.
And I think we're all stunned. The Bulldog fan, we're sitting here stunned. But I say stunned simply from the standpoint of where we were in the second quarter, up 22-7. But all the credit in the world goes to Johnston City.
Absolutely.
They just flat out outplayed Carmi from the second quarter on. It was just, they were the better team up front. They dominated. We had chances. We converted long runs into first downs, but they were called back by penalties. You go back to that backbreaker. It was 4th and 9, 4th and 8. And Watson was grabbed right at the line of scrimmage. I thought he was going down, but 2 or 3 players. He kept his legs moving, got that touchdown to put him up 2, and they never looked back. So, you know, you can point to things, you can point to missed opportunities, and there were plenty for the Bulldogs. But at the end of the day, Johnston City just flat out won the battle at the line of scrimmage.
And again, this is a Johnston City football team that's really good. And they're going to be a top 3 seed in 2A in the South region coming in the next couple of weeks. And you knew that was a possibility. Obviously, you look at the schedule and the team that Carmi had this year, you knew that this game, if there was a chance to lose anything in the regular season, it was going to be this game. And you can't do anything but tip your cap to the way the Indians played, especially in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, and really from that point in the second quarter when they were down 22-7 and 2 jailbreak runs to just, I mean, you know, the first one put them down a score. The Bulldogs got the ball back. You think, okay, let's recover, let's drive it down. Their defense forces a 3 and out. Next play, same thing, exact same play. And from that point on, you know, the Bulldogs did. Isaac King did answer with the long run of his own to put us back up. We missed the conversion. But to me, that score in the third quarter when we had them on about 4th and 7, 4th and 8, And once Watson got on the end zone, he just willed his way in as actually a first down. It wasn't a touchdown, it was a first down. You know, that was the backbreaker. Had we managed to hold him out there, there's a chance maybe some things can bounce our way. But, you know, those penalties on those, I mean, we had our chance to come back and take the lead. There with it was late in the third quarter, I believe, and those holding penalties came into play. But just uncharacteristic things from this Bulldog team tonight with penalties. Things we hadn't done all year, and it just came back to bite us.
Definitely one of the toughest losses in Kurt Simon's tenure here at Carmi. Again, final score, Indians win it 37-28. We'll take a 2-minute break. When we come back, we will have the Roark Transport postgame show right here on 97.3 WRUL. Back in 3 minutes. As the Bulldogs fall to 7-1 on the season, Johnston City improves to 8-0, and assuming they take care of business next week against CZR, they will be the Black Diamond Conference champion. Cole Carter and Chris Myers, and again, Chris, this was just one of those games where it came down to who made bigger plays, and it was the Indians at the end of the day.
They did, and again, I go back to that point in the game when we were up 22-7. And we were all thinking, okay, it's not in the bag, but we were feeling pretty comfortable. And as they say, good teams make plays when they have to. And Johnston City, to their credit, 2 long run on consecutive possessions, 2 long just fullback 50, 60-yard runs, changed this game. And as I said, the Bulldogs did answer to take a lead. But Johnston City, you just never felt from that point, to me, when they came back and tied it, even after we took the lead, you just never had the sense that momentum was going to be totally with us, because when Johnston City came out in the third quarter, we said we got to get the stop, we got to keep them out of the end zone. We had our chance to, and I believe we did the first drive, but it was fourth and 7, 4th and 8, and we had a golden opportunity to hold them out. And you know, their horse Isaiah Watson just made a will to win type run, and to me that's when the game changed. When he got that first down on 4th and 7, Johnston City never looked back. The Bulldog offense, even though we had chances, you know, a couple long runs, you know, the holding penalties came to haunt us, things that haven't happened to us all year. And I think we were just shell-shocked from that point on. But can't beat yourself. Sorry, go ahead.
The post-game report is delivered thanks to Roark Transport, hauling fuels, rock, grain, and more to help our community grow. Call 265-3665 to learn more. And so head coach Kurt Simon has made his way here to the press box. Coach, it comes down to that's a dang good football team right there, and they made some plays to win the game down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean they had the two big plays. You know, you can talk about games like this where you know it's going to be physical and you're going to run at one another. Neither of us throw it very effectively. You can't give up big plays. Field position was an issue for us. I mean, the second half to start out kicking it to them and letting them get them returned all the way on, all the way down to the 30. Now all of a sudden you know there's not going to be that many possessions, and we're backed up in our own end. So give them credit. They're a great football team. And, I told the kids we just got to go back and we'll watch film tomorrow morning and do the best we can to get better. But this is the type of team you're going to see 2 weeks from now in the playoffs.
Yeah. We just, we had the sense when it was 22-7, we'd gotten to turnover, punch that in, it's 22-7. Not that anyone was going to sleep, but we were all thinking, okay, we got a little breathing room here, the momentum. And then, like you say, good teams do good, and they made two big plays. That fullback dive, I think we'd been, the defense, they'd been running those little tosses and powers to one side or the other, and you have to honor it. You have to concentrate on it. They just snuck those plays.
Their offensive line is a really good offensive line. They do a great job. Their scheme that they use this year is fit well for their personnel. So give them credit for those. But to win a big game like this, you can't give up big. I mean, we gave them the first one. We snapped the punt over our head and gave them a short field at the 10-yard line or whatever it was. But those things you got to learn from. You got to learn from it. And that was it's a great game to play late in the year, knowing that the playoffs start in 2 weeks, and that's the type of game you're going to be in right there. So you got to learn from it. And we still have one regular season game left. It's our senior night, and we're going to prepare as good as we can this week, like we normally do, and come back and try to play a really good game and get geared up and ready. We may be right back here in week 2 if we can win the first round.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Coach. I know all you can do at this point, you shake off the dust, you pick yourselves up, you come back next week, got a great opportunity. Hey, 8-1 is a great position to be in the first round. Come out, take care of business against Flora on your senior night. But what lesson do you tell your team? I mean, I know they're obviously heartbroken.
I mean, it's the first. I mean, it's the first. This is the first time we've felt this feeling this year. So, I mean, obviously it hits hard, but you just got to keep going. I mean, there can't be no quit in you, and we go back and, like I said, we do the same thing. Because there were some times tonight, and give credit to Johnston City because they got a good football team, but we were not going to the right place when we were blocking. It wasn't just that we were missing blocks. They had some good players, and they're tough to block, but we assignment-wise, we were off a little bit. And you can't do that in one of these type games. Our kids are good kids. They'll go back to we'll go back to work tomorrow, and I'm confident that they will pull together. I mean, we didn't put the ball on the ground, other than the snap over the punter or whatever. But so there were some things that we can draw out here that were positives. But tonight it was Johnston City's night, and they're a good football team, and we gotta go back to the film, watch it, and get better this week.
And Chris made a good point. As much as this felt like a playoff game, obviously when you lose a playoff game, it's over. But at this point, you guys still have a chance to finish 8-1. The future is still there for you guys to make a deep playoff run. Kind of, how do you still kind of preach that to the guys in the locker room right now? Obviously, they're heartbroken, but the fact that you still got to, you can turn things around next week.
Well, I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, or there's no secret phrase or whatever. We know that it's a long season. You got to put yourself. Our goals at the beginning of the year are always to win enough games to get to the playoffs, and then win a conference championship, and then it's week in and week out. You go one game at a time. You'll learn from it. You'll learn when we watch the film tomorrow. And you go back to work and know that we got to get better against these good teams like this. It's a matter of everyone gets knocked down, but you got to get back up and keep going. And, we've been knocked down once this year so far, and we need to do a good job of learning from our mistakes and, be ready to come back out next week and play a good game and then get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, and I know that's one thing you're going to do. This group of seniors, you've talked about them all year. They're somewhere they've never been.
Yeah.
They're going to wake up tomorrow, they're going to brush this off, and they're going to go right back to work, and you learn from it, and you still have a great opportunity. Still a lot to play for.
Absolutely.
And we know your kids are going to recover, and we're going to get back on our feet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, again, you can go back and look at game, but the big plays, the field position, it's just a big deal. And then late in the game, I mean, we are a team that is not in a position to spread you out and throw it all over. We can't get behind. We can't get behind, 2 scores. And then when we know that, and they're the same way, where that's just not what you just can't do that. So we'll go back to work. We'll go back to work and keep a positive attitude and just keep working.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck the rest of the
All
way.
right, thanks, guys.
All right.
That's Kurt Simon. And the Bulldogs fall tonight. Final score 37-28. The Indians, with the biggest win they've had in a long time. Carmi was right there. Had some chances, but again, the Indians pull off a stunning win. And again, JC, they're going to be in position to put themselves in a possibly top 3 seed in the 2A playoffs. But again, Coach made a great point. If you go 8-1, take care of business next week, finish 8-1, you're still going to be a top 10 team in the Southern bracket. A good chance to see these guys again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. All is not lost. Obviously, we didn't come here to lose.
Yep.
And there were just so many things that haven't happened to this team all year that happened. Penalties at critical junctures. Having teams in 4th down and long and not getting stops. The punt snap over the head, things that just mistakes that happen against good teams, they capitalized on, and the 22-7 lead, the 2 long run, I mean, that's just scheme. That give credit to Johnston City.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to make excuses. Johnston City's a good football team.
Yeah.
Up front, they won the battle tonight. But, again, all is not lost because you learn from this. And if we go take care of business next week at home on senior night against Flora, which I fully expect this team to do, we get a first-round game at home on all likelihood.
Yep.
We can, and again, the playoffs, all rules are out the window.
Absolutely.
Because everyone you're playing is this type of team.
Yep.
Even in the first round. If we can get out of the first round, there's a good chance we come right back here in
Absolutely.
2-3 weeks. So what a great opportunity, and I'd love to see us play again.
The Bounce Back Report comes your way thanks to the good folks at Wabash Christian Therapy on Oak Street in Carmi. Get back in the game. Call Wabash Christian today. Well, it's the first time we've had a Bounce Back Report when the Bulldogs lose a game. Not a bad thing by any means, but I think it's going to be – you got to put yourself in the shoes of a 17-year-old Chris. I can imagine it's going to be tough what those guys are feeling right now. But at the exact same time, you are in just as good of a position to make a playoff run as you were if you would have won this game.
Yeah, and I have no doubt those kids are in their heartbroken as can be because they fully intended to come in here, take this game, and by all means it looked that way in the second quarter. But a lot of football was left to be played, and don't forget, this team in Johnston City was also 7-0. Yeah, you can look at that game they had against Sesser last week. That happens to everybody. There's
Sesser's playing a lot better.
Sesser's has improved late in the year, and they're a solid team. Again, it just goes back to things happening to us tonight that are uncharacteristic. Turning the ball over there, first series of the punt, penalties at critical junctures, things that we have just not done all year. Missed assignments. I could count at least 2 or 3 times where we went to hand the ball off and guys were looking at each other, well, what happened here? We haven't done that. So when you do those things against good football teams, you see the results. So you can get away with those against the 1-8 football teams. You can't get away with that against teams that are as good or better than you. But like I said, all is not lost. We come back next week, got a great opportunity. It's going to be great atmosphere, senior night, reward all these kids in all the fall sports, honor them for their recognition, for what they've done, and then come out, take care of business against a floor team. I'm not sure what they did tonight, where they won or lost.
They were losing big to Cesar-Valier,
so they're probably
that's
4-4 coming in.
Team,
so got to get up to play them, and then you just you take care of that. Then you say, hey, 8-1 is not a bad position to be in the playoffs. You wanted 9-0. But you still got a lot to play for.
Yep.
And that's a great point Coach Simon made. There could be a great chance we see these guys in round 2. I'd like to see that. Just depends on where the chips fall as far as seeding goes.
Absolutely. Again, final score, Johnston City wins at 37-28. The Indians are the Black Diamond Conference champions for the 3rd consecutive year here in 2022. That's going to do it for me and Chris. Big thanks to Scott Maring back at the WRUL studio. And a big thanks to Asher Penrod and Cadence Driscoll running the laptop and camera for us tonight. We do apologize for the internet problems we had on the YouTube side, but we got them worked out. Thank you for your patience. And again, we'll be back at home next Friday as the Bulldogs take on Florida. Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. is the Saturday Morning Sports Show on 97.3 WRUL and 93.3 WROI. We will have Sarah Haley and Ariana Watts on the show to talk about the upcoming Sunrise School Spirit Pep session at Carmi White County High School. So that's going to do it for us tonight here at Johnston City. I'm Cole Carter signing off. Have a great weekend, Bulldog fans.